It is 6:02. Good morning. I'm Jonathan Schaefer from the Superbook.com sports desk. The Indianapolis Colts have named Sam Ehlinger their starting quarterback for Sunday's game against the Washington Commanders. Matt Ryan sustained a grade 2 shoulder separation against the Titans on Sunday, but Coach Frank Reich said the move is intended to be for the remainder of the season. The New York Jets are acquiring running back James Robinson in a trade with the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jets will send a 2023 conditional sixth-round pick to the Jags, which becomes a fifth-rounder if Robinson rushes for 600 yards this season. He already has 340 yards. The move fills the void of Breece Hall suffering a season-ending knee injury. And Monday Night Football, the Bears destroyed the Patriots 33-14. The Bears defense had 3 interceptions.
4th down and 2. In the gun, trips to the right, snap, blitz is on. Pockets tight. Bailey Zappi tip. Intercepted. Connor Gordon down the right side. 30, 20, 10, and shoved out of bounds.
For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Welcome into the Tuesday edition of Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors on 104.5 The Zone, where Zappy Hour is not so zappy after all.
God.
At the end of Monday Night Football, the Jacksonville Jaguars trade a former running back one of the AFC South, and preseason AFC South favorite Indianapolis Colts go to a man who declared that Texas is back.
The Indianapolis Colts
Starting quarterback. Alongside Ramon Foster and Kayla Anderson, I'm Will Bowling, the man you hear pushing those buttons. He's the best at doing this in this world. His name is Jonathan Schaefer.
the best producer in the world.
Of the world, Craig.
And we have got a loaded show ready for you on the Tuesday edition. Good morning, good people.
Morning, Will. Morning, KK.
I'm in a bad mood this morning.
Oh, I know. You said it.
So I didn't want to wear my hair up in a bun for the second straight week. If people want to know out there, the reason why I do that is when I'm really lazy. Like, I don't want to do my hair. Mm-hmm. And I appreciate all the kind comments yesterday about the bun, but it wasn't going to be a bun day today. I woke up, I go to blow dry my hair, guys. I put it in the blow dryer, dead.
Oh, no.
Go to reset it, dead. Go to the other outlet, dead. Bought this thing 3 months ago.
Oh.
Dead.
You're dead to me.
It's not ideal.
Hence the bun.
Oh, okay. People are a fan of the bun.
I know, but I don't like to do things like...
You're not lazy
Yeah.
with it is what you're saying.
Nah.
And then when you get up, it's a show.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and yesterday morning was like, okay, it's Monday after the game, been out all day.
Yeah.
Flip the bun.
Flip the bun up, but not on a Tuesday.
Not on a Tuesday.
No,
Because the club goes up on a Tuesday.
the club goes. I was going to leave it a little bit curly for y'all, but no, not today.
I'm a Bond fan here, okay?
So you guys are going to have to deal with it.
Big
Just play the
bun
hits,
guy.
KK. You're good.
Yeah, it's all good. And now we're starting to let's go ahead and start a charity for this new what's the name? This blow dryer. Blow dryer fund.
I'm just saying, I know the
Yeah.
females out there can appreciate that because they are not cheap, and when they go out after 3 months, that is not good
No,
product.
the good ones.
Yeah, that's
are.
annoying.
That's not good.
My wife ended up getting one of those like salon ones that you sit on like a table.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
hey.
That's fancy.
No, hear me out. Paid for that one. You hear me? Paid for that one, like a bag that goes around the head and stuff too. Yeah.
Holy smokes. What do you got? A hair parlor? in
Just
there?
a regular house, okay? Just a regular house, Kayla. That's all.
I'm
So,
coming over
everything
there.
okay?
I feel your pain. That's
Everything
all.
Man,
okay?
I don't usually say this, but it ain't a regular house.
See,
Exactly.
there he goes.
See, Laura Knight agrees with me. She says, I agree with you, Kayla.
Super frustrating. So what
We
like,
stand in solidarity,
We
although
do.
we can't really relate.
We'll stomp it out if we have to.
This
Kayla.
is what you get when you get a female on the show. I'm sorry, guys.
It's all good. This is good for Will. Okay, I
good for
understand
me.
some of this.
When he gets his new girlfriend, he's going to have to deal with this stuff.
615-737-1045 if you want to be nice to me this morning, because my coworkers don't want to.
No, I said when you get, not if.
Okay. Maybe I already have. Who's to say?
No,
No, it's not true.
no. Kayla, so
I'm like Michael Scott's mom. Why do you always call me to tell me that you're engaged? Well, maybe I am, Mom. Are you? I am not. I'm not.
Is there not a
Hangs up the
warranty on
phone.
it though, Kayla?
I got to go to Ulta today.
You got to go to. Hey, Ulta is expensive.
That place is wild.
Keep on jacking up the prices.
Yeah,
Wild.
My sister-in-law worked there over like winter break.
Yeah.
Hey, this is
now.
one thing that's very interesting too. The amount of people that she said still
Oh
out
my
of there.
God, there's a police officer
People
at ours.
steal there?
No. Oh, whoa, hey,
Excuse me?
tell them why,
Yeah,
Kayla.
because
Like,
there's so much stuff everywhere, and there's a
Yeah.
lot of testers, and there's so many people usually in those Ultas too. You can just go by, I'm sure, and so yeah, we've got a security
guy.
police person. At ours.
And she said, "This is one of the things. You're in all retail stores. If somebody's stealing, you're not supposed to chase them out.
Nope.
Like, and they are like,
Yeah, I remember learning that.
running it up in there. Like
Yeah.
during the holiday season, they
That's the
hired new
craziest.
people just to watch people stealing. Like, and then it's the simple like you can return it like Walmart basically. Like,
can.
all the way down to the nub.
So I'm about to go do that, and I never return stuff.
I'm that way too. I don't
doing
know.
it
I'm
today.
terrible.
Oh, yeah, I'm so bad at returning stuff.
You know how many pairs of shoes are just clothing items? I still got.
Hard
I
flex.
hate this. No. This is something else that's happened
How
though
many
too.
shoes?
You ever had this happen? I ordered some jeans from a place,
Mm-hmm.
one pair, legitimately one pair. I didn't mistakenly hit the tab because I saw the receipt and got like 3 pair of the same pair of jeans, like numerous times. Like some Cole Haan shoes, I've ordered a pair before and gotten 2 pair like 3
be nice.
different times.
Must be nice.
I think the warehouses mess it up. It's no lie. That's never happened to you.
No,
That's happened like numerous times to me. I'm
I
like,
wish it happened.
wow.
I understand that because I ordered a bed frame and it also came with a tent that I didn't order that I didn't give back.
Them jeans still got tags on at the house too.
Wow.
It's crazy. Yeah, that's happened numerous times. I didn't mean to railroad that right there, but
Yeah.
we got
Will is
justice.
thrilled about this
is.
conversation.
Oh,
I don't care.
I can tell.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
The
It's all
bun plays, KK. You're fine.
Yeah, the,
Okay.
the bun's
But
great.
I just wanted to let y'all
Big bun
know
guy.
that was the deal.
good.
Well, but
you
here's the
were-
thing. Guys wouldn't have thought that.
That's true.
No.
No, I know.
They wouldn't even have thought, oh, she's wore a bun 2 days in a row. They'd have been like, hey, what's up?
Whoa.
That's it.
I kind of just wanted to go off about my blow dryer.
That's fair.
Being honest.
Laura appreciated it. She did.
Thanks, Laura.
But
615-737-1045
Unlike
this
the
morning.
Colts, that dryer is no longer full of hot air.
This show has a lot in common with Matt Ryan, as none of us are the
There it
starting
is.
quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts.
Attaboy.
Just
There
like
we
how
go.
we all have in common with Alabama fans that we didn't go to the University of Alabama.
Petty will.
Officially yesterday, not only did the Titans beat the Colts, they might have ended Matt Ryan's career as a starting quarterback of the National Football League.
Yeah.
Officially benched yesterday, Indianapolis is promoting Sam Ellinger, former University of Texas Longhorn, who declared that they were back famously after the Sugar Bowl win over Georgia. And Matt Ryan, I felt bad about this for a minute because I posted the tweet with all the laughing emojis. And then I saw the next tweet of Matt Ryan as a grade 2 shoulder separation that he suffered against the Titans. And then Frank Reich said, but the plan is for Sam Ellinger to be the starter the rest of the season. And then I started laughing again.
We're back.
The preseason
God.
AFC South favorites are quarterbacked by that young man.
That's unreal.
And I do mean young man with the utmost disrespect that I possibly can.
But really, how young is he at this point?
24.
Who's that?
Okay, he's
I
still
can say
somewhat
that. He's
young.
younger than me.
I feel like that was decades ago that
God,
he played at
actually
Texas.
is younger than you.
Oh,
He's also younger than Hendon Hooker.
look at you
That's
being
right.
a
The starting quarterback
Dang.
of the Indianapolis Colts is younger than Hendon Hooker.
What's crazy
Actually,
is
let me double check
I saw a thread yesterday.
Pretty
and
sure that's right.
It was like a Colts insider, like little Twitter page. Like, we do real well with Tennessee Vols quarterbacks.
Oh,
They're plotting on them, Will.
That's tough.
They're
How would
plot-
you feel about
They're
that?
plotting
Will?
on Hendon Hooker, Will. How you Kayla? How you think Will gonna
Correct.
feel?
Hendon Hooker is older than Sam Ellinger.
Yeah.
by
You're dismissing the
how many
question.
Yeah,
months
he
is
is.
that?
He's trying
9
to
months.
avoid-
No, I was looking up research.
I
What do
get
you
it.
want?
I get it.
What do you want? What did you say? Say
I
it again.
said I see there's a Twitter line somewhere
Okay.
of a Colts insider fan page with a lot of numbers suggesting that the Indianapolis Colts do well with Tennessee quarterbacks.
Okay.
What if Hendon goes
They
there?
want Josh Dobbs? Or?
Where's your heart at? No, they're talking about Hendon.
What do you mean?
They're talking
What do you mean,
about
where's my
drafting
heart at?
Hendon. Where would your heart be at? Would you slander him the same way you do Nathaniel Ryan?
No.
Okay. I just need to know where your love was.
Well, it's because Nathaniel Ryan sucks.
Yeah. Nathaniel Ryan's 37 and has not proven that he can continue to be a good quarterback in this league. Hendon Hooker has the world as his oyster.
What if he comes in and beat the Titans?
Good for him.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to cheer for him.
Would you name your son Hendon at that point?
Probably not.
Because there's a lot
I
of
don't think I
Peytons
would
around.
anyway.
How about
No.
Hooker?
Thank you.
There it is. There it is.
This is why we hired you.
Only Kayla can say it, baby. What about Hooker?
Hardly know her. I'm just going to end this segment now because it's not going to get any better than
Well,
that.
I just gotta say, I had a pre-workout and I mixed it with a Celsius this morning. Your
How do
boy
you-
Whoa.
is ready.
How long are you doing the Stairmaster this
Man, I
morning?
went for 30 straight. I didn't even stop today. Didn't
What-
stop.
You stopped before?
Hey, the Stairmaster holds no prisoners. You hear me? Wow! It will hold you down. Like I've paused for 20 seconds at a time today. No, straight through.
You
You'll be
can't.
pausing for the Olympic Games, too. If you keep this up.
Yeah.
Hey, be cool. Be cool.
Shot put?
You're the one flexing on the shoes you have in your house at
No,
6:10 a.m. in the morning on a Tuesday.
No, see, there we go.
Have
We're
you ever
better than
fallen
this.
off the Stairmaster?
No, but I got real close one time.
Yeah,
Lord.
slipping.
That
that
happens?
is a real thing.
No, that's for real.
I've not stepped on a Stairmaster.
You
Those
haven't?
things do not interest me whatsoever.
Hey, hear me out. If you want to get right without the impact on your body, hit the Stairmaster.
I ran for a month and then hurt my Achilles again for the fourth time.
What have we told you about that, Will?
It's a mental illness.
running.
William,
That's
geez,
fine.
Get on the Peloton.
Hey, I have an injured Achilles. Let's go run.
It's not
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
I've stopped for 2 months now.
You should hit the Stairmaster.
No, I have no interest in that
Something got to
whatsoever.
get those cheeks
I'm
right.
just not
Come
going to
on,
lie
man.
to you. I have
Whoa,
no
whoa.
Did you
interest.
just say cheeks?
Yeah, well, he's a bachelor out here.
You're out of pocket this morning.
I am out of pocket. You know what I'm saying? So what?
Coming up on today's show, we revisit our comments with our conversation with Andrew Adams, Tennessee Titans safety, coming up here in just a couple of minutes. Adam Sparks of the Knoxville News Sentinel joins us to discuss if Tennessee is ready to go from being the hunter to being the hunted as we begin to preview their matchup with Kentucky this weekend. Top 7 and bottom 3 of the NFL. I'll speak for, I guess, the show that this was easier this week than it has been in past weeks. A little bit more separation to the top of the league. We'll do that coming up in hour 3 at 8 o'clock this morning. And Ron Sylvester Slay
Oh boy.
joins us. Not only do you have Ron Slay taking his victory lap about the Indianapolis Colts and Matt Ryan, you also have him taking a victory lap over what he affectionately calls Kentucky.
Oh.
Coming up at 9:20 today. So a packed show we are looking forward to today. And when we come back, we revisit our conversation with Titan safety Andrew Adams. It's Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors on 104.5 The Zone. Hey, it's Will Bowling here for Lee Company. And yes, it's that time of the year. Those overnight temperatures, they're going to drop. You're going to need hot air in your home. And Lee Company does so much to ensure that your HVAC is running smoothly. And a big part of that is duct cleaning. Lee Company is offering 10% off your next duct cleaning, which reduces allergens, the amount of dust circulating in your home, and helps your HVAC's efficiency. So visit leecompany.com/promotions for more information and get 10% off your next duct cleaning for the folks who have been trusted since 1944. Lee Company has 14 community locations here in Tennessee. They're in Kentucky and Alabama too, and they've got over 1,600 employees ready to help 24/7. So get your next duck cleaning for 10% off for the company with nearly 80 years of experience. Online at leecompany.com. Lee Company, all you need.
We are going to make a significant change to the starting lineup. We are going to elevate Sam to be the starting quarterback. Extremely difficult decision, obviously, given the respect and admiration that we have for Matt Ryan and, what he's done and what he's brought here. He is a pro's pro. This guy is special.
There's Frank Reich, the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts, discussing a difficult decision that Jim Irsay probably made to make Sam Ehlinger the starting quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts. It's Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors on 104.5 The Zone. Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, and Will Bowling with you. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to bask in the glory of that quarterback change happening.
It was like,
I thought about doing a dramatic reading today of every tweet in July that said the Colts are going to be Super Bowl contenders.
You should.
Yeah.
I thought about it.
And now they'll probably be with Sam Ehlinger.
Yeah.
That's probably the next storyline that's about to come out with the national media.
They're gonna get a scrappy win. They beat the Chiefs.
That's
like the Colts beat. That's a real thing that happened.
I keep forgetting about that.
That's a real thing that happened. So great.
But here's the thing, though, Will. In the NFL this year, and how insane everything's been. By the way, Kayla's snorting.
I know. It used to do it as a kid. Now coming back.
Yeah, dumb losses like that happen to every team in this league.
No, of course.
They don't make any sense because the NFL this year is, as I've told Ramon every week, really dumb.
It's punch drunk on a Sunday morning at 2 a.m. on Broadway.
Yeah.
The NFL is this year.
It's shame walking back from Tootsie's at 3 a.m.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Ooh.
That's next level.
Or coming out of a club in Vegas at 3 in the morning,
let's
4 in the morning.
Let's not get crazy.
You ever seen the sunlight come up, Will?
Of course.
From leaving the club?
But maybe not from leaving a club, but I've
That's
seen.
That's a real thing.
That's a wild life
in
right
Las
there.
Vegas.
Oh, it's like, what the hell?
That plane ride back on the next day was not fun.
What? No, please continue. No, forget everything else we're doing. Please continue. What more do you want to share, Miss Kayla?
That was back in, that was like my second job in Missoula, Montana. I went for a little vacation with the girls.
Yeah.
Little bachelorette party down in Vegas.
Nice.
We met everybody down there.
We met everybody.
we were with the Tony Parker crew down there.
Oh, wow.
Were you?
Yeah.
Nice.
That was the year that they didn't make the playoffs. They were not happy about it.
Like the 1 year they didn't make the playoffs.
That was a fun crew.
I bet it was.
And to this day, Kayla's still not allowed back at the Golden Nugget.
The Golden. That's old Vegas
We
right
closed
there.
down some club. I don't even know what it was.
Man,
I love
like that.
Well, we might get that story maybe during
I've got
the
a
Andrew
picture
Adams
if you guys want to
interview
see during the
Yeah,
break.
you definitely got to show us a picture.
Absolutely.
It's really funny.
We go to the phones at 615-737-1045 to John in the borough. Good morning, John.
What's up, John?
Good morning, everybody. Kayla, I bought my wife a Dyson blow dryer like a year ago. I didn't know that Dyson made blow dryers, so when she told me she wanted a Dyson for Christmas, I was like, you want a vacuum? Are you trying to get me killed?
That's great.
That's crazy.
So anyway, I bought her this Dyson blow dryer, and it died after 2 months.
No.
And
You're kidding.
Luckily, like they were like, we'll replace it. It's not a problem. But I've never been more angry at a purchase in my entire life. Just because apparently those things are not cheap.
Those are like $500.
Yeah, I see it right now. $529.
She puts up with me, so she gets it. But anyway, the reason that I was calling. Look, the Colts can have Sam Ehlinger. They can have Matt Ryan. They could bring Peyton Manning back, and they're still going to suck.
Oh, wow.
And that's all that matters.
Ooh.
Oh, well, wow. Well, I'd say everybody but Peyton.
There's John in the borough.
Mike dropped on us.
Yeah, Peyton is, I don't know. I mean, 2015 Peyton looks kind of like Matt Ryan has this year, but a lot of people were making that joke yesterday that Reggie Wayne, when Matt Ryan was brought in, said, it makes me want to throw up how much he reminds me of Peyton Manning. And all the replies were like, well, I guess it was 2015 Peyton Manning.
Wow. Yeah. It is crazy to think, though, if Andrew Luck never retired that early.
Man.
You wonder like where this Indianapolis Colts team would be at this point because, again, when I came in, they were just dominating the Titans.
So who's the next washed-up quarterback who's going to be the quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts next
Baker
year?
Mayfield?
I've got my
you,
money.
Dalton.
I've got my money. Hear me out. On 2 years from now, Matthew Stafford becomes an Indianapolis Colt. The LA Rams get away from Matthew Stafford's big contract because now he's looking like Detroit Stafford again. And he quickly, it's wild how quickly that guy has gone from he's underrated to, oh no, he's kind of overrated.
From one bum shoulder to another.
But see, one of the easiest betting wins I ever had last year was over one interception thrown by Stafford in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You knew he was going to throw two.
Yeah.
That's who Matthew Stafford is.
It is.
Good quarterback.
I've never
Not
been
a
a
great
huge
quarterback.
fan of his.
Me either.
Ever.
Me either.
Me too, going back to when he was the University of Georgia quarterback.
I thought he was solid at Georgia.
Well, no, I just meant like being a fan of his, not
yeah,
liking.
I see what you're saying.
Nice guy.
He always
seems
put
like.
up numbers, but could never stay healthy.
Right.
And good for him. Like last year, won a Super Bowl, but
Yep.
I don't see that being sustainable.
No, absolutely not.
Well, yep, go ahead.
No, that was it for me.
Okay. Well, Titan safety Andrew Adams had his comments about Matt Ryan in our conversation with him about being a little worried maybe that a wide receiver was going to catch him after his interception, but getting mad at himself for worrying about Matt Ryan possibly catching him. Here is our conversation with Tennessee Titans safety Andrew Adams. Look, man, I know you were committed at one point to play D1 baseball before you played at Connecticut and started your NFL career. Did you feel a little bit like a center fielder again, reading Matt Ryan and making that catch yesterday?
Yeah, whenever you can get good breaks on the quarterback and show off, a little bit of your ball skills, which I kind of contribute to playing baseball, it does feel good. So I did bring a little bit back of that center fielder out.
Appreciate you for joining the show this morning, man. The question I have for you is everybody dreams of that moment. This was your first, if I'm not mistaken, career touchdown or pick six. Had you envisioned it going exactly like that?
So I was actually talking to, it might have been Christian Fulton, and we were just kind of talking about every time we get interceptions, it's not the way we envision it. Beforehand, you play the game in your mind. I'm gonna pick this ball off. I'm gonna pick this play off. But every time, it's something different. It's just playing technique, fundamentals, and you make a good play. So it's not how I envisioned it, but I did envision, getting a pick six in my career.
Did you think at any point in that return that somebody was gonna hawk you down, and how embarrassing that would be if that had happened?
Yeah. So as soon as I caught it, I thought maybe the intended receiver, was going to try to take off and try to catch me.
Yeah.
So I was peeking back, little peeks. Didn't see him. Then I peeked for Matt Ryan, and I was like, what are you peeking for Matt Ryan for? He definitely can't.
Talk your stuff, man. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Andrew, first of all, I thank you yesterday because you were in the locker room with a scrum around you probably for 20 minutes straight. And then here comes this girl running after you saying, oh, one more question. And of course, you sat and answered my question. So I appreciate that, Andrew. What has it been like for you as kind of a journeyman in this league and coming into another team this season and finding your place? What is that process like?
I just think you just kind of have to be, on top of your game. My first 2 years playing in New York and then the last 4 in Tampa. And then this will probably be my third team this year. So you just have to stay prepared and you have to stay ready for your opportunity, I would say.
Yeah.
What about the culture of this team, though, specifically? And I'm sure that you hear a lot about head coach Mike Vrabel and the way that he has formed this locker room. What is it like in there just in terms of the culture and the way that all these guys are believing in one mission?
It's great, just to come in and be embraced, as one of them and just to catch on, to the culture and how everybody's believing in the locker room and is fighting, which is a big word that we use. It's awesome. And it's just awesome to see the guys, how driven they are to one goal, to one team goal. And, everybody's on that same page, which is why I think, we're seeing the success.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee Titans safety Andrew Adams with us this morning on Amon, Kayla, and Will. Andrew, you've been here since September the 21st. Who helped you the most quickly get up to speed where you're able to make plays like this just a month and some change after joining this team?
Well, yeah, I would have to say, it's my DB coaches, Coach Scott Booker and Midget, and then the other safeties, Kevin Byard, Amani Hooker. They've both been playing in this defense and have made plays in this defense, so they're able to give me, the little nuances, of the calls and the details of the defense to kind of help me play faster.
Well, and Andrew, too, Amani was on the field for a lot of this game. Of course, KB always out there as well. Do you guys take pride in the fact that you had all three kind of your guys right there on the field, and the safety room is pulling their weight and then some in this game?
Well, I actually really didn't even think of it that way. I was just showing up prepared to do my job. Whatever the team asked me to do, whatever position that may be, I'm just going to do it, at the highest level and to the best of my ability. So I think that was probably the key thing there.
Going to a new team, the Titans, one thing that I think every player looks for is like, man, where's my moment where I really feel like I've done something on this team? How did it feel actually being out there and getting that monkey off your back as far as getting that pick six and being like, yeah, I got a spot here on this team?
Well, I just think just being undrafted into the league, you have that chip on your shoulder no matter whether it's year 1 or year 7. So I honestly have that same chip on my shoulder, to prove to the world, and show the world who Andrew Adams is. So it's not necessarily just trying to find a spot on this team. It's just the chip that I've always had on my shoulder, coming to the league.
That's something I tell people all the time. Being an undrafted guy is not like anybody else. Even the years in which you're comfortable, you're not really comfortable, man. And that's kind of cool to hear you kind of say that too. I have a question for you since you've been around a young guy that's a first rounder in this league. What would you tell a guy like a young Caleb Farley that your mindset is probably what he's looking for? You know what I'm saying? In a sense of like belonging and having that chip on your shoulder too when it comes down to the game.
Right. Caleb, I would say, has all the tools, and all the, things that come with a great football player. He's fast, he's big, he's physical. I just think, taking time to study, the details and the film of the game will take him over that next level, because he's already a freak athlete now. So as soon as he learns, the concepts, that offenses are doing, he'll be a great player.
You played with some other defenses, obviously, but you look at this defensive front for the Tennessee Titans. They've got some dogs up there. I know what those guys are like in the locker room and the energy that they bring out there on the practice field and the game field. Like, what is it like just to know, like, the amount of pressure they can get on a quarterback to help out the back end?
Those guys do a great job. The best coverage is a good rush, and our guys give us a great rush almost every passing down. If the ball's not out within 1 or 2 seconds, quick game, our guys are affecting the quarterback, and we love to see that. We thank them for that. That makes our job a lot easier.
As far as an easy job, too, like you play with Derrick Henry now and not against him. I feel like when DBs have to go tackle him, let me ask you this: do they make business decisions when it comes to taking him face first?
Oh, I've had to play Derrick Henry before, and guys definitely, especially later on in the game when you're already bruised, a little bit, beat up, trying to finish. That's when he really, inflicts his dominating run style, upon defenses. So I would definitely say, his physicality is a factor for sure.
Titan safety Andrew Adams with us this morning on Ramon, Kayla, and Will. Andrew, I know, too, that you played against Derrick Henry in 2019 as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. And in that game, on a botched fake field goal, you returned a fumble for a touchdown in that game that was called back. A really controversial play that was actually a touchdown. It should have been called a touchdown. Do you feel vindicated at all now that you got your touchdown in Nissan Stadium?
That's actually, it's just, I don't know, maybe that's just the way God works. And it was meant to be for me to have a touchdown in that stadium. But I did remember that, and that was actually, just a fun fact, or I guess a coincidence that has coming up in my career.
Absolutely. Andrew Adams with us this morning here on 104.5 The Zone. So, Andrew, you haven't been here very long, but you've had a couple of experiences playing in this Titans and Colts rivalry. How quickly did you kind of learn how important this game is and how important it is to stop that other running back on the other side of this AFC South rivalry and Jonathan Taylor, who you helped bottle up yesterday?
Yeah, just, going through, the week of preparation and just watching all the old matchups that they've had, it kind of just dawned on me that, this is, a big game, division rivalry, two physical teams, that have similar play styles. So show up to the stadium ready to go. That was basically my mindset. So I definitely learned, about this rivalry real quick.
Andrew, on the way out, too, you've got quite an impressive football pedigree in your family. Your uncle, your cousin Matt Forte, obviously playing running back from 2008 to 2017. Your brother-in-law. I mean, are those guys jealous maybe that you get to play for such a player's coach like Mike Vrabel? And what's kind of been your impression of him just in these few short weeks?
Oh, it's been great. I mentioned to somebody the other day, it doesn't matter if you're Derrick Henry or Andrew Adams. He's going to coach you the same.
Wow.
You're running down on kickoff. He's coaching you on that, on special teams. He's coaching you at safety, on defense. He's coaching receivers, linebackers. It's just so cool. He's involved in the walk. He's playing linebacker in the walkthrough. Like, it's just so cool to see a head coach, in that mindset, in that frame of work, and having that relationship with his players is, I don't know, it's something I want to be a part of.
So there is Tennessee Titans safety Andrew Adams with us on Ramon, Kayla, and Will. Great conversation. And the quote that was awesome from that, I took away, was if you're Andrew Adams or if you're Derrick Henry, Mike Vrabel coaches you the exact same. Pretty cool stuff from him. 615-737-1045 is the number. When we come back, Mike Vrabel addresses the health of quarterback one, Ryan Tannehill, going into Sunday's game in Houston. We'll hear from the head coach coming up next on Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors, 104.5 The Zone.
One of the things I love about Genesis Diamonds is they're always bringing in new and fresh jewelry and diamonds. You're never going to see the same old choices at Genesis. With diamonds, they are always bringing in fresh cut stones, straight from the world's best diamond cutters. Every size you can imagine, including larger, rarer diamonds, 3 and 5 and even 10 carats. With designer jewelry, Genesis has partnered with all the top designers from New York and Los Angeles. And they're on the cutting edge when it comes to what's in style, what's hot, and what's new and different. The stuff you see in Genesis you will not find at any other store, guaranteed. So it's a constantly moving, constantly changing inventory, always new selections. It's another reason why Genesis dominates the jewelry scene here and why people drive for over 2 hours and more to be able to shop at this amazing store. They've got it all. Huge selections, uncompromising quality, unbeatable value, ironclad warranties, and white glove customer service, and luxury pre-owned Rolexes too. Continuously voted best jeweler and best place to buy an engagement ring. Genesis Diamonds, available in Green Hills and Cool Springs.
It's Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors on 104.5 The Zone. 615-737-1045 is the number this morning. With Ramon Foster and Kayla Anderson, I'm Will Bowling. Mike Vrabel updated the status of Ryan Tannehill yesterday as he spoke to the media. And I assume, guys, this would be the avenue that he went is, hey, we've got a lot of guys that are banged up, and we'll see. Obviously. But here is word for word what Mike Vrabel had to say yesterday when asked about the health of his quarterback. So there is Mike Vrabel yesterday talking to the media about Ryan Tannehill's health at this point in the process to get him back. I think it's a concern, and as we discussed yesterday, I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that he is back and a total full go against the Houston Texans.
No, I mean, he said he was progressing, but what does that mean? Progressing from the swelling going down? Progressing from what? And I think this is just, we're going to have to monitor day by day. I'm assuming he's going to be on the injury report. I don't expect to see him out there on Wednesday, tomorrow. I'll be out there, guys, and I'll get every detail I can. But I would assume they're going to start preparing Malik just in case.
Just in case. Yeah, I would almost say, too, in a sense, him being quarterback, like he can stand a shotgun and deliver. If he's somewhat mobile, I could see it. But him doing the quick rollouts and like bootlegs and stuff like that, if his mobility is not there, he's a liability at that point. You know, like it's a health risk at that point.
I think the difficult part of that is, too, that Ryan Tannehill at his best is when he is rolling out of the pocket and making throws on the run.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Unless it's a Derek game and you just go downhill with him and you fake it, turn around and spin it the play that they always do as far as the play action RPOs go. But he's athletic, so if he was a statue in the pocket, I'd more or less be like, okay, he needs to sit. But this is a situation where you got to protect him from him.
And the other thing, too, that I wonder, because this is a game against the Houston Texans team, and I know that the Titans have played down to opponents before, but this is a game against the Houston Texans team that is struggling extremely.
Yeah, big time.
And also struggling against the run at that. They can't seem to stop any of these backs. But next is Kansas City. Do you want Ryan Tannehill to have a little extra rest? I don't know. There's a lot to figure out in this short period of time.
That's where I'm at, is preparing for Kansas City. Although this is an AFC
you can't
South
look
game.
over it.
Yeah.
How much more pressure do you feel as an offensive line preparing for a team in a week knowing your quarterback's playing hurt?
So much more. I won't even front.
Big Ben was playing with like over under 3.5 injuries at a time. Yeah. Most years.
And yeah, for real. And see, the thing is, we were veteran enough, and I'm not tooting my own horn, or like we were savvy enough to where we played, we were a good line. Yeah. So when it came down to like protecting Ben, it became like, all right, hyper focus. Like, hey, nobody touches him. This you can get a push, but there is no falling on him. Like if I'm blocking for Tannehill this week, I'm looking to him eye to eye. If I'm Ben Jones, like, hey fellas, your bleeping job depends on this. Our guy cannot move. We can't have anybody hitting and twisting his ankle, because that's going to be the other part of it, is it won't be regular falls.
Right.
And tackles, you know? Yeah.
And then look at the Titans offensive line in terms of health too. And Ben Jones was popping back his knee back in.
Yeah.
You know that he was hurting after the game. He'll be out there, but I'm not, he's not going to be 100% either.
This is well, to protect him. Oh my gosh. Like you said, and Ben too. I ain't gonna say I wouldn't risk it, because I know competitive edge is a thing, but boy, Vrabel got a hard decision this week.
It's a tricky week.
It is.
Yeah.
615-737-1045 is the number. And when we come back, we want to look at the other part of that conversation in what Mike Vrabel had to say about Malik Willis's progress so far this season when he spoke to the media yesterday. But also want to get y'all's thoughts on how ready Malik is based on the scout team reps that he's already had this year. Because the preparation process for a backup quarterback in the National Football League is very different in the middle of a season versus in training camp.
Right.
So I want to go behind the scenes of working with a second quarterback on the practice field, something Ramon Foster did for 11 years as a veteran of the National Football League. And I want to get your thoughts on how ready he is now compared to the beginning of the season. Because obviously in training camp, we see a lot of Malik Willis, and there's a lot of conversation about his preparation and him taking the next step. How many steps can you really take as a rookie quarterback, as the show team quarterback at this point of the season? We'll hear what Mike Vrabel had to say. We'll get Ramon's thoughts on that as well when we come back. 1 hour down and 3 more to go on the Tuesday edition of Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors, 104.5 The Zone.
Good morning. It's 7:02. I'm Jonathan Schaefer from the Superbook.com sports desk. The Indianapolis Colts have named Sam Ehlinger their starting quarterback for Sunday's game against the Washington Commanders. Matt Ryan sustained a grade 2 shoulder separation against the Titans on Sunday, but Coach Frank Reich said the move is intended to be for the remainder of the season. Well, if he was that special, he'd still be playing. The New York Jets are acquiring running back James Robinson in a trade with the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jets will send a 2023 conditional sixth-round pick to the Jags, which becomes a fifth-rounder if Robinson rushes for 600 yards this season. Already has 340. The move fills the void of Breece Hall suffering a season-ending knee injury. And the Bears, no problem with the Patriots last night on Monday Night Football. Defeated New England 33-14. The Bears defense had 3 interceptions. For all foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once. On your home for the Titans and the Vols, this is 104.5 The Zone.
A very good Tuesday morning to you on Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors in Nashville, where 3 people have in common something with Matt Ryan. None of us are the starting quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts. Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, Will Bowling with you. And that is the best producer in the world, Jonathan Schaefer, making the show happen.
The best producer in the world.
Of the world, Craig. The world.
Coming up in 15 minutes, we talk with Adam Sparks of the Knoxville News Sentinel, recapping a not as busy week for the Tennessee Volunteers over UT Martin in Knoxville, but a big one coming up on Saturday against the Kentucky Wildcats in a rivalry that always is just a little bit closer of a game than it should be. But if you are of a certain age, then you've only really seen Kentucky beat Tennessee 3 times in your lifetime. Mine only twice, so.
Look at him burning.
Hey, you see him? He's on fire right now. Don't get on Will Bowling backside, okay?
Trying to think of other things that have only happened twice in my life.
I'm not even going to start going there.
Trying to think.
Oh, you don't want to play this?
I mean, the England has had 3 prime ministers since the last time Alabama beat Tennessee. So.
We're keeping
Not
it
me.
clean. Never mind. And they started it, Will. It was
they always
Shay.
do.
It was Shay and Kayla that started it
That's
this morning.
fine.
Don't get me started. Y'all, something's wrong with y'all this morning.
Stop. No, you're deflecting again. Stop it. Stop.
I
No,
keep thinking
I'm
his
okay
sweatshirt
deflecting
says
this.
Yankees.
No, but Moan.
It's not here. I
What
love this
Moan does
sweatshirt.
is that he endorses other people's behavior and fully supports things like, yeah, they started it. It's all on them. He does it all the time.
I like to keep it
He's
going.
like giving
Hey,
it.
Ramon.
He's reassuring himself.
I'm
Pat on the
looking
back.
around here under my microphone and under the phone looking for the lie, and I'm having trouble finding it.
I'm going to be real.
I'm having trouble finding it.
I'm a grade A instigator, man.
Thank
You
you.
think?
Thank you.
Hardly know her. 615-737-1045 is the number if you want to jump in.
Yeah.
Talking about Ryan Tannehill's health and what Mike Vrabel had to say about Malik Willis yesterday at practice. Going to hear from him in just a moment. But I think it's an interesting conversation, Ramon, and something that you can give us perspective on in how much a rookie quarterback really learns in his first season when he's spending so much time as the scout team quarterback. Not something that you have to deal with in college because you've got 6 quarterbacks on a given roster in college, especially now, that if you're just like second cousins with somebody that's on the support staff and you play quarterback, then you're just, you're a walk-on quarterback now. But it's something that I imagine is an adjustment for young quarterbacks in the National Football League.
It is, because you got to get humbled real fast, because your job, number one duty, is to prepare the starters for what they're going to see. If this guy's a drop back in the pocket, hold the ball for a long time, that's what you got to do. I'm sure there was somebody mimicking Matt Ryan. If you got the running type of quarterback, I've seen coaches bring in a runner, like a guy that's an athletic quarterback, because we didn't have one on our roster at the time. And guess what happens on Friday? He's cut because the week is done.
Right.
He serviced us Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday afternoon. He's done because it's the preparation of the game. You guys heard me say this all the time. Like, there's so much film watch. That's the reason I learned how to make coffee, because everybody in the building drinks coffee to stay up in meetings so you can watch and study film. There's so much of that going. So when it goes from watching film, there's also a scout part of it too, to where the guys who got to mimic the guys that you're going to be blocking. I would go to defensive linemen like, hey, I need you to do this move right here because he does this. At some point, I don't know. I don't care when you do it. That's when you're supposed to do it. For a guy like Malik in his development, though, is what you're asking me. For a guy like him, this is the portion of the year in which he has to become more risky. If it's, man, I don't think it's open, throw it. Because guess what? The defense got to be able to intercept the ball. Anyway, if he's defending them and you're trying to fit it in a tight spot, guess what? Go ahead and do it, because this doesn't count. This drill ain't about you. Yeah. It's about the defense. But in that, be more risky. Mimic what the offense does. And in between all of those things, run your team's things. Like, they used to say, well, this is full zone to the right, but block it like our offense does. I'm like, okay, or use our technique. That's where Malik has to have grown at this year so far.
And here's what Mike Vrabel had to say yesterday when asked about Malik Willis and his status going into Sunday.
Continue to improve. He's taken the ownership of the show team. And that's where every backup quarterback gets their reps. But still understanding the game plan and still being ready to go. And so I kind of like where that's been the last couple of weeks. I thought it was maybe the first week of the season was something that was new for him, and we had conversation about how he needs to operate and get those guys to function, whether it's preparing for the next week's game. So I think it's been good.
So there is Mike Vrabel yesterday talking about Malik Willis and a conversation they had early on in the season about understanding what it's like to be the scout team quarterback.
Yeah. And this is all new for a rookie.
It is.
Let alone being a quarterback where you know how much goes into it. I mean, you have to have it up here as well.
Yeah.
And you're learning all these new plays. You're learning a new offense, but then you're learning all the things like running a show team.
Yeah.
It's a lot, but I feel like what I loved about Malik, at least what I saw in fall camp and all of the OTA stuff, is that he is more than willing to learn. He is going to take whatever time it takes to do that. I mean, how much time do you think these guys put in?
I mean, that's a lot. You got to think this. They probably go in early, watch film, then go lift, and then go to meetings and watch film, and then they got to incorporate it in on the practice field, and then afterwards it's watching film too. Like, there's so much growth, Kayla, that can be had if you do it the right way. If you're excited just on being in the league, man, this is cool, I love it, you're going to be washed out quick.
Yeah.
Because they're always searching for the next guy. So to your point, you got to be on. Like, there's a portion in which all players realize, oh, this is a business.
Yeah.
Everything. And listen to them. They see everything. They watch everything. Who's in the weight room, coach? Who's watching film? Like, and I'm sure I don't know if we had it, but certain teams, they have like logins in the building for guys that want to watch film and stuff like that. They can like they can track how long you've been watching film, who watched film. Like, the pressure of performing is always there.
Can I add something really quick? Because that brought me to a point that I remember talking to somebody about who has connections with the Los Angeles Rams. And Cooper Kupp came from Eastern Washington, a small FCS school. It's where I'm from up there. And I asked what makes Cooper just so good playing with him? And he said it's because he just watches so much film. He spends so much time in the film room. And he's just got, he got it down to a T. It's not like he's naturally this gifted, crazy freak, athletic, guy. It's because he put that much time in.
That's the separator.
And I imagine you're not just watching film of yourself at practice, but you are more intently watching film of every other quarterback that's on the game plan for the next week as the show team quarterback.
No, 100%, man. So there's stuff you pick up on, and the best thing for him to do is he's up against a really good defense, right?
Yeah.
As far as personnel and the way they make plays, if he challenges himself or has been challenging himself to perform against them well enough to where he gains his confidence too, like there'll be some times where we have a backup quarterback just friggin' dice apart the starting defense, and they leave and be ticked off. And guess what happens the next day? They nudge them. They hit them because they don't want to be embarrassed like that. What did we hear before Patrick Mahomes started? He was ripping the starting defense apart. Like, that's what you're supposed to do, man. And I'm hoping we see some of that if Malik starts this week.
615-737-1045 is the number, and we give the number because when we come back, your chance to head to Knoxville to see the Tennessee Volunteers take on the Kentucky Wildcats. We will give you the cue to call after the break, and we will talk with Adam Sparks of the Knoxville News-Sentinel about a big matchup and potentially a little bit of a different vibe in Neyland Stadium than what it has been over the past few big games, because Tennessee now is the team with the little number beside their name, not the team that is coming into Neyland Stadium. We'll get Adam's thoughts on that. We'll get the status of Cedric Tillman and Jalen McCullough as well from Adam Sparks of the Knoxville News-Sentinel. And your chance to head to Knoxville to see Tennessee and Kentucky coming up next on Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors on 104.5 The Zone.
Summer's over, but that joint pain is still there, and it's time to do something about it. Hey, it's Ramon Foster, and I want you to call QC Kinetics now. You've put it off long enough, and it's time to get real lasting relief from chronic pain in your knees and back and shoulders and hips. QC Kinetics can get you moving again with cutting-edge regenerative treatments. With no drugs, it's no downtime, and it's no surgery. Regenerative medicine uses highly concentrated healing properties from your own body to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. And QC Kinetics is the nation leader in this exciting breakthrough natural approach to eliminating joint pain. Lots of people here have already done this, and they are living life to the fullest, pain-free. So don't assume the old ways of dealing with joint pain are the only ways. Call QC Kinetics today. Stop putting it off. Call now for a free consultation at 615-249-4024. Again, the number is 615-249-4024.
Big one at Neyland Stadium on Saturday as Tennessee hosts Kentucky. You might be hearing this song if you are our winner on the phone lines coming up here in a matter of seconds. On a mode, Kayla and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors on 104.5 The Zone. Will Bowling, Bode Foster, and Kayla Anderson with you. And it is Tennessee Ticket Tuesday, sponsored by Famous Dave's Barbecue right here on 104.5 The Zone. Be caller number 5 right now to win tickets to see Tennessee versus Kentucky this Saturday night at Neyland Stadium. Thanks to Famous Dave's Barbecue. Get the best barbecue for your buck only at Famous Dave's. The phone number is 615-737-1045 on Tennessee Tickets Tuesday, sponsored by Famous Dave's. 615-737-1045. Give Jonathan Schaefer a call, and you will be in Neyland Stadium on Saturday night. We go to the phone lines of the Mark Spain Real Estate Hotline, checking in with Adam Sparks, our good friend from the Knoxville News Sentinel covering Tennessee. Good morning, Adam. How are you?
Pretty good, guys. How's it going? I waved at y'all briefly. Could see at the alumni tent.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hi,
Two
Adam.
weeks ago, I think. How are you doing, Kayla?
Good.
Congrats on the new gig.
Thank you.
So, Adam, it's certainly a different vibe going into this game on Saturday because now Tennessee is the kind of the hunted and not the hunter like they have been obviously against Alabama and in games like this in the past. Do you feel like Tennessee is ready for that challenge of being the top 5 team in a game like this?
Well, I mean, I kind of have two senses on this. The Tennessee football team, I think, is pretty confident. I think they feel like they can score on anybody. They feel good about the matchup going into this game. Kentucky is a team that, you know, good defense but scores in the 20s. The type of matchup you would want if you're Tennessee. Now, the Tennessee fan, you know, a lot of what I've run into, fans around here said, you know, back in the preseason, they said, well, pencil in Kentucky as a win because Tennessee beats Kentucky. That's just a given. And now that it's gotten to this point, though, and Georgia is next week, I've sensed a lot of anxiety with fans because they feel like, well, this all you got to do is beat Kentucky, and it sets it up 1 versus 3 or whatever, and that's the game of the year. And fans are just, you know, concerned that it's not going to happen. And so suddenly I've heard people sort of prop up Kentucky as a better team than they thought they were maybe a month or so ago.
I mean, they are, though. Adam, good morning, my brother. How are you?
Real good, real good.
Good. But they are, though, and there's a level of competitiveness, and I think where the anxiety comes from, at least on my end for this week, that says we weren't supposed to beat them on paper last year, and we went to their place and embarrassed them like that. You got to expect that their coaches want a little get back the way they're playing it up this week so far.
Yeah, I mean, I think for Kentucky, they look at last year's game and say, how on earth did we lose that? I mean, time of possession last year in that game was like 46 minutes to 14 minutes. Tennessee scored 45 points in less than 14 minutes of time of possession. That just doesn't happen. And so I think Kentucky looked at that and said, if we can cut down on some of the big plays, we get control of this game. We lean on our defense. We get a couple of turnovers against Tennessee that they haven't been committing that much of, and you flip the game. I mean, I think the challenge for Mark Stoops' bunch is the same as it's been for every team Tennessee has played. And it's almost a psychological thing that I think Tennessee's offense has been so good this year. It's made good coaches change who they are when they play Tennessee. I mean, Billy Napier was going for it on 4th down before the ball was kicked off in the Florida game. Brian Kelly was going for it on 4th and 10 at midfield for no reason. There's no reason Brian Kelly would do that in another game, but he looked at it, you know, again before the game even started and said, this team's going to score 40. I've got to score 40. And I think Nick Saban got a little of that sense too. He calmed down things to some extent and kicked field goals when he could, but you could tell Alabama was rushed in that game, and they sort of got lulled into what Tennessee does, which is tempo on offense and blitz you on defense, at least early in games, to sort of get the heart rate up of the opponent, and then it never slows down. And, you know, Kentucky's got to try to play a slower game. It's just hard to do that against Tennessee when they come out as quickly as they usually do.
The thing about it, Kentucky's got some dynamic players. I like their offensive line. Well, they were supposed to be one of the top ones in the league. But it's three players I worry about as far as skill when it comes down to them. Will Levis, Chris Rodriguez, and the Tennessee native and fantastic freshman, Berrien Brown. Where are you at on those guys?
Yeah, I mean, it is a little different team. I'm curious to see how this offensive line is, because it was Mark Stoops' teams always have really strong offensive lines. I feel like this one is underperformed so far. The running game has been up and down because they've had those issues at running back with Rodriguez. So I think Kentucky is a team that quite hasn't figured out who it is yet. Okay. I mean, it is interesting that they're 5-2, but Will Levis missed one of those games. He turned it over a couple times late in the Ole Miss game. Otherwise, Kentucky comes here 7-0.
Right.
So there's a narrative where Kentucky is undefeated right now and in a similar spot as Tennessee. They just haven't put it together. I would assume Kentucky looks at it now and say, we're going to play our best ball in November, and this is sort of the spot where we take off from.
I'm just curious, Adam, you're around these players, throughout the week, and with Hendon Hooker clearly getting more and more pub now for being a favorite to possibly win the Heisman, and you put some good statistics down there on your Twitter page. How has he handled it, and what has been really just the vibe of these players with the success that they've had?
I mean, it helps that Hendon Hooker he's 24 years old. I think when Hendon Hooker was 18, he seemed like he was 30. But as a 24-year-old, I mean, he really does sort of bring a calm tone to that team, which is a good contrast because they play so fast. Their games are so frenetic that you have to sort of have a calming force. And Josh Heupel has that, and Hendon Hooker has that, and I think that just, it brings a good tone to the game. Hendon Hooker has not – you don't see any signs of this going to his head. Usually when you have guys, I think like in a Heisman race or something like that, you ask them what they think about it and what they think about, the stats and the comparisons to other players, and they will immediately deflect it. Yeah. Because it's in their head. Mm-hmm. Hendon sort of embraces it, takes it for what it is, and that's it. And I think that's a level of maturity that he has that a lot of quarterbacks just don't have.
Yeah, and he's had a lot of weapons to rely on, too, around him. Now, a guy that you've seen get involved in some different ways this year, Princeton Fant, the tight end, and I know he's had some drops over the past couple of years, but it seems that Josh Heupel is getting him involved in other ways. How much do you see that continuing?
Yeah, I mean, I think Josh Heupel will utilize a guy until there's nothing left. I mean, he will squeeze every bit of usefulness out of a player's skill set that he can. And he saw that in Princeton Fant, that he could throw it really all the way back to last year. And so they had that play dialed up. He was a running back for a brief time his freshman year, long before Josh Heupel got to Knoxville. And they thought that's something that they could use. They used him in practice in ways like that. There's just a lot of fans asked me the other day, why use that trick play with Princeton Fant in the UT Martin game? Well, it's not like Josh Heupel has a finite number of trick plays. Right. He's got a lot, and for everything that he does like that, he's putting that on film for Kentucky or Georgia, for whoever else to see it, sure. And there's a wrinkle on top of that.
Adam Sparks, Knoxville News Sentinel, with us this morning on Ramon, Kayla, and Will. Adam, is this the week we finally see Cedric Tillman back out on the field for Tennessee?
I think it's a pretty good chance. I'd said for the last couple of weeks that I would say he's doubtful to questionable. I would say he's more questionable to probable this week. He's moving around. You can even see him on the sideline at games that he's jogging around, he's moving around. I think it's a pretty good chance that he will get on the field, at least go through warm-ups and get on the field. I think he'll likely be in uniform for this game. Now, is he limited? I think if he plays, he's certainly limited to some extent, and there's going to have to be – the coaches are going to have to gauge if, let's say, an 80% Cedric Tillman is better than 100% Ramel Keaton. And you kind of have to see that and then determine – if he does play a little bit in this game, if he's good enough to go and give him 100% at Georgia.
So, Adam, William Wright, Nashville native at corner, benefits from some of the injuries Tennessee has had at that position. Just a walk-on, played high school football here at Innsworth, but had the interception against UT Martin. Has he earned more playing time, in your opinion, especially considering how banged up Tennessee is at that position?
Well, yeah, it really depends on who's available. Christian Charles and Kamal Haddon, the starters, were out last week. I suspect they'll probably be back this week. D. Williams has played a little bit now that he's gotten onto the field last couple, 3 games. I think what William Wright did with that is he bumped himself up into the twos. And, for example, like this last week, they rolled Deshaun Walker out there at corner because the starters were out. I think if you see that instance again where they need another guy to come out, or if there's an injury lingering into this week, William Wright has leaped over him. And you can forget that he was a walk-on. I think they feel like he's just got instincts that are pretty good for that position. You saw his instincts in that game. I feel like sometimes some of these, especially second-team corners, are very robotic in where they're supposed to be and what coverage they're playing. And you saw William Wright peel off of what his coverage was to make that pick. I think he's got some good instincts. He doesn't have that, 4-star talent or whatever that would have got him a scholarship, but he does have instincts, and he showed that with that pick.
Is there, is there a continued push to better the run game even more so? Because I remember this distinctly, coaches been, always saying, like, you got to run the ball when the weather gets colder.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have to. They're probably going to have to do some of that against Kentucky. Certainly, they're going to have to do a lot of that against Georgia. They can't be just a team that throws it deep, and to beat a team like Kentucky or Georgia. I mean, that we keep thinking, when is this going to slow down? Because the offense just keeps on getting better and better and better, and that could be it. That could be going to Athens and not having a run game and being exposed as sort of a one-sided offense at this point. And, it's not like they have the personnel to get a lot better, so it's going to have to be scheme. I mean, this offensive line is better in pass protection than they are run blocking. The running backs are solid, but they're not game breakers, and so that's not really going to change. You saw Dylan Sampson get a big play the other day. I think they're trying to figure out how to get him into space more, but personnel's not going to change that much. They're just going to have to scheme up a better run game. But the more that they spread people out and throw a lot of these vertical routes, it is going to help the run game eventually.
I got a quick petty one, though. Are you still getting, comments from Bama fans?
Yeah.
Because I was listening to a national show yesterday, and they are still talking about the game. Adam, why?
Here's the thing you have to understand about Alabama fans, and I've had friends that have covered them for years, is that Alabama fans, you know how you think that Tennessee fans think, well, the calls always go against you in the Alabama game because it's Alabama and the SEC is protecting Alabama. Alabama fans think the calls go against them because everybody wants to knock them off their pedestal. And so all that I hear for the last couple of weeks is, SEC, the officials finally got Alabama. They finally got what they wanted. As if this had been like a 15-year plan for Nick Saban to finally lose in Neyland. Yeah, I heard it was quiet after the game from Alabama fans, and then since then it's been, it's if they've been market corrected because they only had 3 penalties last week. They said, well, they brought the correct officials in for that game. They should have been there at Neyland.
It was weird to me, but because as they've always told us, it's no rivalry. But this Tennessee-Kentucky game, though, do you still look at it as a rivalry? I never took for granted, our win streak that we had on them. I still viewed it as a rivalry, no matter what, because I know what that game means to the people involved in it.
Yeah, no, it's still a rivalry. I mean, it's a rivalry that goes to the late 1800s. I know that doesn't necessarily matter to people today, but Tennessee, and I asked Josh Heupel about this yesterday, and I'm writing about it this week. Tennessee is very unique in that it has like a half a dozen rivalries. Most schools have 1 or 2. Tennessee has Alabama and Florida and Vanderbilt and Kentucky, Auburn back in the day. There's people that see Georgia as a big rival. I mean, it really speaks to Tennessee fan base that if you historically had a rivalry, it doesn't disappear. It just continues. And then if you can get a new rival like Florida, you hold on to that one too, and you add rivals more and more over the years. And Kentucky has withstood through that. Tennessee has dominated that series, but people still see it as a rivalry because fans want that, and so that's why half the games on the schedule are seen as a rivalry, and that's how you get 100,000 people into games, because they prop up these games as a big deal, even if maybe in the last few decades it doesn't look like that on the field.
And Adam, to kind of sustain this winning, I think this was another thing I heard from Bama fans as I was listening to those calls is we got to get the right guys in place. I'm thinking to myself, you got all the 5 stars and all the high 4 stars. As far as Tennessee goes, how much has this helped recruiting? I know they had, I think, 9 or 10 5 stars for the Bama game in town. And, like, what is that looking like for Heupel, who took that criticism of not being a good recruiter?
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to affect this incoming class, the one that'll sign here in a couple months. I mean, that's a good class. It will be propped up a little bit to maybe get that class in the top 10 and keep it there. We're going to see the residual effects of this season in the next class, and we may look back a little over a year from now and say, well, how did Josh Heupel get this type of class? And you're going to say, well, that Florida win, checkered kneeling, that Alabama win, storming the field, all those things that those guys experienced, that's why this class is so good. And they're going to have to do that because they're going to lose Hendon Hooker, they're going to lose Tillman and Hyatt, who knows, Brew McCoy. They're going to have to reload with young players next year, and they're going to have to go into the transfer portal and get some skill guys and some DBs. And so, it's great now. It's probably not going to be as great next year, so they're going to have to reload. And, the great programs reload. You're just talking about Alabama. They reload. They don't have this great year and then have to build back up over the next 3 or 4 to have another one.
Good stuff. Adam Sparks has been our guest. Knoxville News Sentinel on Twitter at Adam Sparks. Appreciate the time as always, Adam, and we'll do it again soon.
All right, guys. Good to be on.
Thanks, Adam.
Absolutely. There is Adam Sparks with us on the Mark Spain Real Estate Hotline this morning. When we come back, one element of this matchup is interesting to me, and I want to play you some audio of Kentucky offensive coordinator Rich Scangarello earlier this week that Tennessee fans have kind of taken and run with. And it tells me one thing about Kentucky, and Adam mentioned it, saying that a lot of teams have had to get outside of their identity of who they are to try to beat Tennessee. I actually think there's one part of Kentucky's identity that is the formula to beat Tennessee. And Rich Scangarello talked about that in his meeting with the media. We'll play you that audio coming up next on Remote Kayla and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors right here at 104.5 The Zone.
When it comes to large home repairs, a lot of the time we homeowners pretend we don't see the warning signs. We're afraid of what we're going to hear. This is especially true with waterproofing and foundation repair. It could be something big that needs to be fixed, or it could be a small problem now that will become bigger later, or it could be nothing at all. In these moments, though, you want a peace of mind. That's when you need United Structural System. With USS, you get problem solvers, experts to educate you and help you understand what's happening with your home. USS will provide an honest diagnosis and stand by their work and warranties. USS is based right here in Middle Tennessee and is a member of our community. So when it comes to something that's important as your home, USS is the company who cares and the company you can trust. USS serving Middle Tennessee, Southern Kentucky, and Northern Alabama. Find them online at USSTN.com or call at 615-227-2275. We guarantee our best. Call USS.
It's Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors on 104.5 The Zone. Good conversation with Adam Sparks of the Knoxville News Sentinel talking Tennessee and Kentucky. Check that out on the podcast at the end of the show today if you missed it. Will Bowling, Ramon Foster, and Kayla Anderson with you on the phone lines at 615-737-1045. So Kentucky offensive coordinator Rich Scangarello was talking to the media and had a comment that was a bit odd considering how many points Tennessee scores. Vols lead the country in scoring with 50.1 points per game. And Rich Scangarello, the Kentucky OC, basically said, well, we're not a team that's going to score 30 points. Mm-hmm. Well, that's probably not ideal when you're playing a team that averages 50 points a game. Here was his full comments to the media about the identity of the offense going into a game like this with such a high-powered offense on the other side of the ball.
Yeah, everyone has their own identity, and for them, their identity is to play fast, and for other teams, and it works very successfully. We're not going to score 50 points a game, and we're not going to do it that way. Now, we have to be efficient, and points per, like I talked about, per possession are so important.
So that's the interesting thing now that Tennessee fans have run with on Twitter, saying, oh, you're not going to score 30 points a game? Well, this offense on a bad day scores 30 points. Here's the interesting part, though, guys. Tennessee has one of the fastest offenses in college football, averaging 2.85 plays per minute in this Josh Heupel up-tempo scheme. Kentucky is the complete other end of the spectrum. They are one of the slowest teams in college football, averaging 1.86 plays per minute. What I take away from that is when this kind of offense is right, this is the kind of offense that can really give Tennessee some trouble, because not only do they want to beat you, but they want to take 8 minutes per scoring drive doing so. And it's a risk, because if you come up empty on a 7.5-minute drive, you're making things a lot more difficult on yourself. And I think where this manifests itself is if Tennessee gets a good start in this game, you force Kentucky out of that identity and you force them to move a little bit more quickly. So it's very much a two-edged sword. I don't think Kentucky, though, will have to get outside of its identity to beat Tennessee and play with Tennessee, because in reality, Kentucky's identity keeps the ball out of Hendon Hooker's hands and out of this offense's hands.
I'm always cautious about coordinators saying that type of stuff, because that tells you their game plan. Their game plan is to slow this down. Their game plan is to, all they're doing right now is feeding that defense gunpowder. Listen, if we get one stop, if they get 1 3 and out, we own the quarter. That's basically what they're saying. They will take a 17-play drive just to milk the quarter. And next thing you know, Tennessee becomes into a scramble fest where they're trying to figure out where are our points coming from. How do we get them? This is a game in which this offense for the Vols have to be very efficient. You hear a coach say something like that, that's the plan. Oh, well, you don't score 50 points. Well, guess what you're going to do, Tennessee? You're not scoring 50 points either then. Like, that's where I am as a player. If I'm talking to the guys this week, I'm like, okay, hang loose, be yourselves. But, no, we're not getting the ball back until the end of the quarter if we don't score points. Like, that's the mindset this week. They can play those games all they want to and brag about it. That's the last thing Kentucky coaches ever want to do. Kentucky fans, players, lovers of Kentucky want to say is, look, they score 50 and we don't. Yeah, that tells you everything you need to know about what they plan on doing this week.
And what you've liked for the most part from this Vols team this season is just they're able to put up points early.
Yeah.
And they start, for the most part, pretty well. And so you have to make sure to make that emphasis in this game on Saturday because, look, if they get out in front, there's just no catching up. We've seen it time and time again, game after game. I think that there's going to be a game where maybe they're not going to be able to score as many points.
Yeah.
They just continue to do it. And I just don't think Kentucky can play catch up if they get out in front early.
That's true, too. And Andrew in the chat just made a good point, too. Well, that's what they did last year.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true, too.
And it's different playing at home, and it's different playing against this Tennessee offense, because this Tennessee offense is more balanced.
It is.
And is better running the football than they were a season ago. And this Tennessee team hit a lot of home runs in the run game against Kentucky as well. You have to remember. And Jabari Small, who just ended a man's whole career on a run in the open field late on in that game to take the lead. I think the other element of this, too, when you look at Will Levis, fourth in the SEC in passing with 272.5 yards per game, second in passer rating and in yards per attempt, but he's thrown 5 interceptions. He threw a pick 6 to Alontae Taylor a season ago in this game, and he threw a pick 6 against Mississippi State. He had 3 big mistakes. He had 2 fumbles and a safety in the loss against Ole Miss.
Yeah.
This is a game where Will Levis has to live up to the expectations none of us believe he actually has.
And a lot of people, like I said, are questioning that right now.
And I think it's neglectful on Kentucky's part about Will Levis this year. He went on this big media spin and everything this offseason, and then they tried to make him the entire offense. I think that's where the issue comes into play. Like, he didn't let his O-line grow into anything. They said, chuck it, Will. And Will was. And then next thing you know, they get into games where the O-line giving up crazy amounts of sack. Like, I was looking at this game like Kentucky's going to really fight for the SEC East. And because of their O-line. And because of, like, the way they've approached offense on the same, I think they got 6 offensive linemen that they're playing and starting.
Their offensive line has been inconsistent at best this year and is not up to the level of where Mark Stoops' teams typically play up front at the line of scrimmage. The defense has been impressive. The 22-19 loss against Ole Miss, I think we now know that Ole Miss team is not a top 10 contender like we thought they may have been at that point of the season, and really at this point too. And Jackson Dart is not quite as impressive, obviously, as the top quarterbacks of the SEC when you talk about Hendon Hooker and Bryce Young leading that charge and Stetson Bennett kind of being in there as well. But up front on offense, this is not what Kentucky has been. And I think Big Omari Thomas and Byron Young and Tyler Barron see a really big opportunity for Tennessee now to rush 4 and help out those young cornerbacks, including the walk-on William Wright, who I think has earned a lot more playing time coming up this weekend.
100%, man. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not dismissing it a lot at all. I will say this to the petty side of me, because I always sprinkle a little piece of petty in too. I want to see the Tennessee guys that left the state get beat by the Vols too. The Twins, everybody else.
Destin and Keaton, for those who don't know, Destin and Keaton Wade, Summit High School last year. Fantastic players, some of the best players we've seen in Middle Tennessee over the past couple of seasons. And the talented Barryon Brown as well from Pearl Cohen, the Firebird, who's a state champion at 100 meters, running 10.4 at 100. And shows that speed in the kickoff return.
Do you have these guys targeted on like every team?
No,
like
I just
guys that left Tennessee.
I've been following recruiting for a little while.
I know.
Anyway.
I'm being kind of facetious.
Well, that's
here,
because they were high guys for sure, and facetious. They've been they were high guys, and I was just like, you're going to benefit more from being here. But hey, your recruiting is your recruiting, and I can't excuse it. But of course, when you come back and it's SEC ball, guess what, Kayla? It's Kentucky week.
So Ramon has a burner account where he follows all these guys.
I thought so. I thought there was something.
I'm just a journalist with a small J. I keep up with stuff.
You're lurking.
You're an ist.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even put journal in front of
I'm
you.
an
You're
ist.
ist.
I just got a journal.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm an ist.
Ist.
You know what?
Yeah.
Never mind. I was about to go there. I ain't gonna go there.
Suck it.
Good idea.
That's a demerit for you.
But what,
That's a
for
demerit
not
for you.
going there?
Correct.
No, I ain't gonna be that
You
way.
don't,
Because that
you
was gonna
don't,
seem
you don't
overly
bring
cocky.
something up and
He's
then not say
looking
it.
at it
I'm
like
being humble.
he's about to say something.
I was really gonna take off and
I am
just.
so humble.
Yeah, no, I was gonna take off and put us
Take
up
it. Now
on a
Schaefer's going to
platform.
save that because I said it. Anyway, even
He's
though
the
I was
football
talking
guy,
from your
remember.
perspective.
I'm just a football guy. That's all.
615-737-1045, the number if you want to jump in. Halftime of the show. And when we come back, a recap of Monday Night Football where Zappy Hour was just that. About an hour of yesterday's game for the New England Patriots. The Chicago Bears going to win in primetime, which is something that we don't often get to say, despite the fact that, like the Denver Broncos, they play way too many primetime games. We'll recap that, and we give you our top 7 and bottom 3 in the National Football League coming up in hour number 3. Ron Slay in hour 4. Kentucky Week continues. Out of Mark, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors, 104.5 The Zone.
8:01, good morning. I'm Jonathan Schaefer from the Superbook.com sports desk. The Indianapolis Colts have named Sam Ehlinger their starting quarterback for Sunday's game against the Washington Commanders. Matt Ryan sustained a grade 2 shoulder separation against the Titans on Sunday, but Coach Frank Reich said the move is intended to be for the remainder of the season. Ouch. The New York Jets are acquiring running back James Robinson in a trade with the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jets will send a 2023 conditional 6th-round pick to the Jags, which becomes a 5th-rounder if Robinson rushes for 600 yards this season. The move fills the void of Breece Hall's suffering a season-ending knee injury. And the Titans have signed tackle Eric Smith to the practice squad. Monday Night Football, Bears 33, Patriots 14. The Bears defense had 3 interceptions. NBA Grizzlies defeated the Nets 134-124. Ja Morant, 38 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists.
Morant, 4 seconds on the shot clock. Deep three from the left wing is good. Ring it up. Put 3 on the board. Morant's got 38.
For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5. The Zone.
Second half of the show on Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors on 104.5 The Zone. Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, and Will Bowling with you. Jonathan Schaefer, the best producer in the world, making the show happen for us this morning on the phone lines at 615-737-1045 if you want to talk to him and then talk to us. Ron Slay coming up in hour number 4 as we continue Kentucky week for Ramon Foster and Ron Slay, because Ron Slay had some battles against the University of Kentucky in the basketball court, and those battles translate to the football field. There's no just, that's just basketball, and we carry that hate to Alabama or somebody.
It don't get much worse than that. And again,
it's a year-round hatred.
I just let y'all know, like,
badminton, hate him.
It's double hate in my family.
Equestrian, hate him.
Yeah, like Ron's my brother for sure, for real. Kayla, same blood.
Yeah, I know. I still can't get over that.
Still didn't believe that. Yeah, that's wild. And Renardo, who I was raised with, of course, is my brother too. Ron went to Tennessee. Nardo went to Louisville. I'm talking like double hate. So me being the little bro. I got Kentucky from Nardo, like, because when it was really good, of course, they were Conference USA at the time, and that's when Petrino was there, and they were beating teams. They went to the Orange Bowl and
Brian
stuff
Brom.
like that.
Yeah.
Brian Brom.
The year that every single team in college football was ranked number 2.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, they went down to beat Miami and all that type of stuff. So for me, Kentucky is a natural, like, word that rolls off the tongue. It's like saying, like, Savannah. You
Was
know?
that like your first word as a baby?
Kentucky. Yeah, that was my kids. Yeah, first words was Kentucky. And they got a real good friend, too, little Andrew, man, Kentucky fan. That's sad. And I'm trying to get his little brother, man, Evan, to be a Tennessee fan, and Evan's a little savage too. But we love him. Other than this week, we might watch the game together or something like that.
Your bud.
Yeah.
Bud Dupree.
Yeah. The Kentucky fan.
Kentucky.
It's Kentucky week. Sorry, I keep saying I don't know why I keep putting the T in it. It's Kentucky week too. Bud's my guy.
I know.
That's my dude. Like, I rocks with him, man. But not this week.
Wesley
though.
Woodyard.
Wood is coming on this week too. It'll probably end up being Thursday for Woodyard.
Lumberjack.
And by the way, Wesley's and my relationship became like solidified in college. Played him in Kentucky, and I no lie, Wood, the Lumberjack, he got that name for a reason. You hear me?
One of my favorite Titans.
Like, just a cool dude, too. He's super savvy,
Smart.
man. Love
for sure.
Wes, man. That's my dog. But he came down.
I never knew that was him.
I thought that was me the first time Schaefer dropped that. I'm not joking. I was like, that sounds like my...
That's Wes. So
that's awesome.
He's super petty, but we became like real cool because Wes came downhill on me one time when we were playing in Kentucky. I'm like, who is that dude? Like, he was by far one of the hardest hitters I've ever faced in my, like, from college, and he did the same thing in the NFL too.
And now you're in the same city.
And now we're in the same city. That's and we were on NFLPA together, and just he was. I mean, the sport you love, man. And Wes is one of those good friendships, man. Even though he the ops this week, that's my dog.
You know
I'm a Kentucky fan.
No,
There it is.
Wait, do you say that?
What was
I'm
that?
a Kentucky fan.
Oh, Ramon Foster. Wow, that's interesting.
One thing I'll always
It's
remember
fake news media.
about Wes in the locker room was when we played like when the Titans played the Jags, and he would wear the leopard print. It was so awesome.
that's him, man. He's a lake dude. He's wakeboarding all the time. I'm like, you better not be down there with those alligators, man.
Oof.
Yeah, that was the Ole Miss week too. When I was trying to, you remember when they played Ole Miss?
Right.
Yeah.
I'm rolling Kentucky this week.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Ramon, what was that? I can't believe it.
I'm rolling Kentucky this week.
Whoa.
Ramon's lips weren't moving, but there's sound coming out. Courtesy of the best producer in the world, Jonathan Schaefer.
I'm rolling Kentucky this week.
Oh, no.
Sat on that for a month.
Don't
for
let
this
the-
moment.
So about
Don't
this
let the
drop.
fake news media catch you off guard.
I'm
He's
rolling
so-
Kentucky this week.
He's so mad.
I'm loving this.
I'll never say anything like that again. You hear me?
I'm rolling Kentucky.
Well, you don't
this
have to anymore because Jonathan Schaefer has you saying it once. That's tough. That's tough.
And then he doesn't even say anything. He just responds.
He's moving in silence over there in his dark studio with the lights still off. Tough. 615-737-1045. Phil in Portland with us on the phone lines. Good morning, Phil.
Hey, good morning. Hey, thanks for taking my call.
Yes,
hey,
sir.
Ramon, I wanted to tell you, I was sitting there thinking, as I listened to that Kentucky coach saying, hey, we're just going to stick to who we are. We ain't going to score that. That's honest. You should be who you are. And because even Tennessee's got to come in and remember who they are and play their game plan, because if not, the other people's going to get in your head. And, that's how I got my wife. I was a foreign guy. These other guys, they had on their slick suits and, they had their hair back, and I was out there with my farm truck, and she just happened to be going through that phase where she wanted a real cowboy. Yeah. If I would have switched up the game, I'd have lost her. So you got to be true to who you are. That's my point today. Y'all have a blessed day.
Oh my God, that might have been my Phil. That was probably my favorite call in 3 months. That was the best comparison I've heard in so long.
I love that.
That was amazing.
I always think it's funny when teams like this say, we want to be who we are. Who Kentucky is a team that's beaten Tennessee 3 times since 1985.
That's cute. That's cute, Kentucky.
There's nothing wrong with what the OC for Kentucky said.
Oh, I know.
No,
There's
it's not.
At this point, I'm just trolling.
Right.
Well, no, Schaefer.
There's nothing wrong with what he said.
I framed that segment in a way to say.
Yes, you did.
Tennessee
but for
fans
people
are
that
running
didn't
with this.
hear that last segment
I know.
and are just tuning in now, all they hear is troll.
Right.
That's all they hear.
Get
which
you a
is
guy that
fine
can
as
do
well.
both. It's me. I'm the guy.
I don't have a problem with what the coach said either.
No.
But that comparison was just great.
That
And
comparison.
he was saying stay true to yourself. He was not lying on that.
Phil won the day with that one,
He did.
y'all. And his wife did, too.
Better luck
Yeah,
next time,
absolutely.
every other caller. Thanks for playing. Phil wins today.
Yeah, she's going to
Sorry.
go to him and be like, oh, I was meaning to get a mechanic, but you were the nearest thing.
615-737-1045 is the number this morning. Yes, since 1985. Wins in 2011, 2017, and 2020 for the Kentucky Wildcats. 2011, when Derek Dooley's era basically ended in a 5-7 loss, ending a 26-game win streak. 2017, when the Butch Jones era ended. And in 2020, when the Jeremy Pruitt era should have basically ended. Well, it did end in 2020. So basically, the last 3 head coaches who Kentucky beat wearing orange were gone within months of that happening. Dooley was a little bit longer in 2011 when he got let go in 2012.
Yeah. There's always a standard for what's acceptable and not. I mean, let's think back too. The Vandy loss too. That kind of put Coach Former on the hot seat. Remember,
Was
like the
Wyoming
05 one
too.
And the Wyoming one
was
also.
was the kicker.
Oh.
You lose those, and it's like, hey, you lost it.
I don't think about that Wyoming game often.
Well,
that game was on
a lot of people don't
pay-per-view.
even know where that is. So
by far, it didn't hurt me losing to.
That Wyoming game was knew I
Candy.
Fulmer was going to get fired.
No, that was the
Yeah.
day. That was the day.
Sorry, Moan. I mean, but that was the moment.
That was it.
Going into the building that day, like dead.
I mean,
You felt it.
that game wasn't even on television.
Kayla. At that point, we were lost.
That game was on pay-per-view, and we
Pay-per-view?
listened to it on the radio. We didn't even buy
Wow.
it. We were like, oh, okay, well, it was Wyoming.
Before SEC Network and everything else took
Right.
off.
Let's remember. How many years ago was that?
Yeah.
15?
I forget that
14?
pay-per-view was.
Yeah, it was
It was
different-
08.
And I think that's probably where a little bit more of my, I don't want to call it hate, dislike for like Coach Clawson's offense just really took off too.
It's hate.
November
I don't
8th,
hate
2008.
because it
13
was
to 7.
Yeah, and our offense could do nothing.
Jonathan
And
Crompton was 11 of 27 for 91 yards in that game.
And you know how defenses never talk about like the offense, like y'all should. That was the point in which they broke. Like we're holding these to 13 points, and y'all can't score. And I'm looking at the plays that we're running, and then the day after that, like he's trying to have us like run laps in the indoor, and I was just like, dog, you can go eat rocks, like beat it.
Not just kick them.
It was miserable. And mind you, too, like I just had a kid. I just had RJ. I had a whole bunch of stuff going on to where it festered in me after that loss, like even more, because that game right there would have determined like a bowl game, too. So I was,
team finished 5 and 6.
You took me to a dark spot.
Nah,
I'm
I
better
know.
than this today. It's just Tuesday, man. It's Kentucky week.
thanks,
Come on,
Will.
God,
You're
dog.
welcome. You're welcome.
That's where it comes from.
When I say I am the danger, this is what I'm talking about.
Well, the good news is they're scoring more points now.
A lot
Thank
more
you,
points.
Thank you.
You know what, Kayla?
Stayed in the office.
I want it just like your what is that mustard, just like crew neck you got on yellow. By the way, I got pointed out. We all got on crew necks today.
We
too.
do.
Oh, we do.
Yeah, we do. 'Cause
Crew
on
neck
Mike's
Tuesday.
pointed
We
that
planned
out.
that. We called each other and planned
We
that
did
one.
because we homies like that.
Of course.
Kayla, you brought that was fine. I appreciate it. You're right. That's
You
a
know,
lot of
bringing you
points.
back
I'm
to earth.
gonna let it go.
I think Hidden Hooker had 91 passing yards on one drive in
just
the
gonna
fourth.
say,
man, why
right?
you still rubbing it in? Well, why are we doing this?
737-1045. When we come back, a look at the NFL news as we give you our bottom 3 and our top 7 teams in the National Football League. I had the Titans in my top 7 last week. Does any of us on the show have the Tennessee Titans a top 7 team in the NFL this week?
Right now.
We tell you. Coming up next, we recap Monday Night Football, 615-737-1045 on the phone lines. On Amon, Kayla, and Will, powered by all 4 Seasons Garage Doors at 1045 The Zone.
Hey, it's Ramon Foster for Window Nation. And if you didn't know, forecasters are predicting a colder and snowy winter. And guess what? Winter is coming up fast. Are you prepared? Have your old windows lost their integrity? Are they drafty, hard to operate, or single pane and inefficient? The experts at Window Nation can help you prepare your home to defend against the colder weather with incredible savings. Right now, you can get 2 free windows for every 2 you buy and pay nothing until 2025. 0% financing right now. Again, no payments, and add to the fact that thousands more saved in energy over time. Leaves may be falling, but the energy costs sure won't be anytime soon. And with expert installation from Window Nation, you'll join over 150,000 smart homeowners who have Window Nation's windows protecting their home. Start saving with one call at 866-90Nation or visiting windownation.com. Get 2 free windows for every 2 you buy. Yes, that's buy 2, get 2 free with no limit. Fill up your whole entire house, okay? And pay nothing until 2025. Now's the time to winterize your home with this great offer before it leaves and rake in the savings. That was my little rhyme right there. Call Window Nation now, 866-90Nation, or visit windownation.com and tell them that Ramon sent ya.
Your chance to see the Nashville Predators and the St. Louis Blues this Thursday at Bridgestone Arena. Coming up in a matter of moments on the phone lines at 615-737-1045. It's Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. Preds are very back. Always good to be back in Bridgestone Arena to see them. They are back at home on Thursday, and we've got some tickets up for grabs. Y'all been back for a Preds game yet this year?
I have not yet. I enjoy hockey games too. In person, way better than it is watching on TV.
Yeah.
On TV.
I've been out to practices, going out today to practice, but have not been out to a game yet. I just encourage everybody, even if you're an out-of-towner, you want to experience a cool sporting event that's not just watching a game.
Yeah.
Go check out the event. It's fun. It's entertainment.
Looking for a bounce-back win on Thursday against the St. Louis Blues. That's right. Always big when the Blues come to town. Hockey is back in Smashville, and right now, caller number 5 will win tickets to see your Nashville Predators host the St. Louis Blues. That is this Thursday at Bridgestone Arena. Don't miss out on this Central Division matchup. Puck drop is at 7 p.m. Season and single game tickets are available at NashvillePredators.com/tickets. The phone number, 615-737-1045. Preds and Blues, 7 o'clock Thursday night. 615-737-1045. Caller number 5 is headed to Bridgestone Arena on Thursday. So,
should be fun.
Monday Night Football last night, Zappy Hour for Bailey Zappi, lasted about an hour, literally. I guess concessions are like half price or something, and then Bailey Zappi regressed back to a day 3 pick starting or a quarterback out of college football. 33-14, the Bears get the win. Did not have this game on my bingo card of like exciting primetime games.
I guess America picked the Bears to win.
Yeah.
And Monday Night Football, the crew was like, Adam Schefter's like, what is this? I don't understand. America's taking the Bears? Is this a typo? And he like showed it to Booger and was like, no, it's not a typo.
Yeah.
And I'm going, okay, well, they won.
They won.
That's tough for Schefter.
Like, own up to it.
Did
like
somebody's agent tell him to say that?
That's
sorry.
whoops. Whoopsie daisy.
Sorry, that's my bad.
So
Did I say that out loud?
the issue with Mac Jones was what you thought. Like, I watched a little bit of it. Like, he's their first round pick.
I'm a Mac Jones truther.
You are?
I never thought last year that he was that guy that many people thought that he was. I thought he was fine.
Mm-hmm.
People bought his jersey.
They did.
That's right.
A lot of people.
New England thought they was going to get another Tom, another underrated guy that was going to be, the face. Didn't look like much in a sense of like athlete.
I'm glad that's what we're going off of now.
No, I'm just saying in general.
No, I know. I'm agreeing with you.
That he looked like Tom. Like Tom didn't look like much when he came in. It was like,
What, had a little belly?
Well, just had a whole lot had a whole lot of everything else, didn't he? And now he's a totally different individual.
We need to stop
He's getting trolled by AB.
We need to stop comparing unathletic players at the NFL Combine to Tom Brady. Like if I go in and like run a 40 slowly and look unathletic, somebody in the world will compare me to Tom Brady.
Yeah. That's the next Tom Brady.
The only thing I have in common with Tom Brady is I am a Caucasian male.
Hey.
And thus ends the similarities that I have. Like why I don't know why we do this.
The other side of this, too, Will, leads to the continuation slightly to Alabama quarterbacks, except for Tua and except for Jalen. And Jalen's an Oklahoma guy, right?
This is my soapbox I have with Nick Saban teams and with Alabama.
King.
And then I want to add in some stuff after this.
Okay.
Because I have this conversation with people all the time where friends will tell me, like, oh, well, if you're a quarterback, why would you not just go to Alabama? Like, that should be a no-brainer, right? Yeah, unless you want to have a long, successful NFL career. Nick Saban quarterbacks at Alabama have not been good NFL quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts is the guy that's changing that narrative. Many thought Mac Jones was last year, and Jalen Hurts transferred away.
Yeah, he did.
And so he gets credit from Lincoln Riley as well. So, really, you're looking at Tua Tagovailoa now.
Who was on the trading block early this summer.
Looked
remember?
bad. And the question going into the season for the new regime in Miami was, can you make it work with Tua?
Yeah.
Like, are you really bringing in a new head coach? Like, can he make Tua work? He's been fine this year. He's been good when healthy, but that's not something that is consistent than I think we talk enough about. Like, Alabama quarterbacks are not successful NFL quarterbacks.
Because I think you get wrapped up in how successful Alabama has been as a program, especially with Saban coming in there and doing what he's done, winning national titles. I think then you automatically assume that it's a quarterback that's going to be able to succeed in the NFL.
Yeah.
That is not always the case. Look at USC.
Yeah.
While they've had a couple, a lot of them have not lived up to the hype and gone on to have good NFL careers. And with, I mean, I can remember some of the guys that I covered there, and you're talking about like guys like Greg McElroy, who's I think a decent broadcaster, but I mean, not an NFL quarterback. And we could go name a whole bunch of those guys. I don't know if Mac Jones will have a little more time to prove that. Right now, it's a sticky situation because everybody's on the Zappe train. But let's not forget, Zappe is also a great story.
Right.
He's undersized. I don't know if it's just that defenses haven't seen him as much yet, and so they're still kind of adapting to him. And so I think that's a free-for-all right now up there in New England. I think that's a problem when you're playing two quarterbacks and you don't know which one is your guy.
It's the starting quarterback at Alabama. I think Bryce Young is probably going to be fine.
Bryce Young, yeah.
Yeah, because you see a lot of like tools around him where he's creating. I don't know if this is the best Alabama team as far as quarterback and talent goes that they've developed. That's fair to say, right? It's a lot of talent. I just don't know where or why, or if it's Bill O'Brien that's a part of that issue too, right? But we saw Mac Jones do crazy stuff. We saw Jalen Hurts do crazy stuff. Tua was also doing crazy stuff. But the issue is with Mac Jones' situation was you knew he was I hate to kind of – well, no, screw it. We tell you how it is. But he was a below-the-line athlete when it comes down to it. I think he was surrounded by uber amounts of just skill players, running backs, offensive line.
Yeah.
And you know what he doesn't have in New England, which has been one of the biggest gripes as of late and why Tom wanted out? They have no OL. They have no skill players. They have no run game. They have no tight ends.
They have really no names.
They have none. And so for a marginal athlete like him that you know is a great story, became a first-round draft pick, and everybody was thinking it was Bill and not Brady. Well, now you come to realize I think both needed each other in a sense. And you go get a guy like Mac Jones, and it's not lining up for him. Let me say this, as a former player that's played against them, I love it. I want to see it. I want to see it.
That's
dive.
a mess, though. If you're taking Mac Jones out, putting Bailey in, maybe he can't even get the job done. What are you doing?
We've never seen him like this in the last 25 years, have we?
No.
Even before Brady. We didn't see this. Bledsoe. It wasn't
People not used to that.
People were comparing. People were calling Mac Jones Drew Bledsoe and Bailey Zappi Tom Brady when he came into.
First of all, I don't. That's kind of a stupid compare because Bledsoe was there.
Yeah, right.
For a while,
Bledsoe
guys,
was established,
and Bledsoe was established, and he was a good quarterback. Sorry, I'm defending my WSU Cougs
there.
He's one of the greatest that we've had at Washington State. But I was laughing at that comparison. I'm like, the timetable isn't even remotely okay to be making this comparison.
Mm-hmm. No, that's weird. I know we got off right there, but I just had to say that about Bama quarterbacks.
Of course.
Yeah.
Bottom three teams of the NFL. I think this part was more difficult, and the top 7 was easier this week.
Top 7, I thought.
Because I think there are 3 teams who are head and shoulders better than everyone else. And then I think teams 4 through 9 are completely interchangeable. But I still don't think it was as hard. Number 32 is a little bit more difficult because the consensus worst team in the NFL beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Sunday.
Yeah.
So we'll get to that in a minute. But number 30, ladies and gentlemen.
I got Denver.
Denver.
Yeah.
Okay.
Denver.
Denver, another loss. Again, another week without a touchdown. 16-9. Kayla?
Okay, so at 30, sorry, I have to go back here through my things. I actually have the Detroit Lions.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They have combined for 6 points in the last 2 games.
Yeah, it's not great. Not great.
5 turnovers in this last game, in the second half. That's wonderful.
Yep.
They are still allowing the most points in the league, 32.2. And Josh Reynolds is their top wide receiver. That's their top weapon. So that's fun.
They loved him.
A guy that in Tennessee couldn't even stay on the team.
Stay on the team. Yeah.
And he's been able to do stuff there since he headed there last year.
Yeah.
And was able, but Jared Goff, I think he's just going to throw in the flag and say, I just want to go back to California. I want to go back to the sunshine. Get me out of Detroit. I just don't think his heart's in it either there. I think he's struggling with
100%.
that trade.
And Amon-Ra St. Brown exits early with a concussion in this game against Dallas, the 24-6 loss. The turnovers in that game were crazy.
Yeah.
5 second-half turnovers, including on 4 straight drives to finish the game for the Detroit Lions against the Dallas Cowboys.
I know y'all like Dan, but I just don't see this going anywhere.
Trying to bite off kneecaps.
Yeah, he's a reset coach.
What he said at his press conference.
Yeah, he's a reset coach.
Jonathan Schaefer, number 30.
Carolina at 30.
I am with you.
Although I had the Steelers at 29.
There you go.
I mean, they're bad.
Subtle jab.
No, it's just reality.
No, it's weird to say it, though.
It is weird. I gave the Steelers a little credit for just being that close against Miami. This is not a bless your heart thing that I'm saying. It's the reality of having a rookie quarterback on the road in a primetime game. That actually, it was weird seeing people in the Miami stadium.
It's because they were Steeler fans.
That's because they were Steeler fans. That's right.
I want to go off on the Miami U in a while.
We'll get there.
Boy.
We'll get there. I also had number 30 for Carolina. Christian McCaffrey, I guess, was the problem all along. 173 yards for them in a win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Deontay Foreman, how about him? Having 118 yards and 7.9 yards per carry in this game. Leading 14-0 going into the final frame. Chuba Hubbard had a touchdown in this one. P.J. Walker, 16 of 22, 177 and 2 scores. Forget Darnold and Baker. P.J. Walker, quarterback 1 of your Carolina Panthers.
Right now.
Number 31.
I got Detroit.
Detroit, okay.
All the same reasons you guys said. It's just not good. I think that, I will say, they'll be a top 5 pick. They get a quarterback with that O-line and that defensive line and the linebackers, I think they will have a decent, maybe 500 season next year.
Well, they
we
improved
keep
just
saying
because
that,
they
though.
fired Jack Easterby.
Say what?
They got better just by firing Jack
You see what
Easterby.
I'm saying? Like they're set, I think, to really
Houston?
be. No. Detroit.
Yeah, he's talking about Detroit.
Yeah, I was talking about Detroit. I got them 31.
My bad. Sorry.
So you're saying Jared Goff is going to the Indianapolis Colts next? Okay.
Oh,
Gotcha.
that is the quarterback the Colts will get next.
Okay.
We've been
Let's
thinking
note
about
that.
it. We finally got it.
Exactly.
There we
So
go.
I have what you just said and you just said with Carolina. And I'll just give them a little bit of hope because maybe they got some guys out of there. It's not going to turn around this year. I'm not saying that at all. But there was a little bit of hope beating Tampa Bay. That gives you a little bit of, brush my shoulder off. Held Tampa Bay to 3 points.
Yeah.
3 points.
With Tom Brady.
You better
With
get
Tom Brady.
that dirt off your shoulder.
Dirt off your shoulder.
Jay-Z.
It's a great song.
Yeah, I like that.
I like it. Schaefer, 31.
Houston at 31.
Schaefer and I are the
vibing.
same on both of these.
You're all
I'm
twinning.
not comfortable with that.
That's really good.
Winning.
Twinning.
Houston at 31. Derek Carr was really efficient against Houston over the weekend. 21 of 27 for 241 and a touchdown. And we're going to talk about this tomorrow on Scout Meeting Wednesday. This was the Josh Jacobs game.
It was.
In Houston's loss. 20 carries for 143 and 7.2 yards per carry. Some people scoffed at me like a month ago when I said I think Josh Jacobs is one of the most underrated running backs of the NFL. I'm consistent in believing that that's the case. They didn't pick up his option.
Yeah.
Derek Carr, this is a money stat for the Titans, Ramon, for tomorrow's Scout Meeting Wednesday. I'm going to go ahead and submit this one stat
All right, let me
for
hear
your
it.
notes tomorrow. Derek Carr in this game against Houston, 7 of 8 for 109 on play action passes.
Wow. What does the Titans do well?
That's what they do well.
Yeah.
That's what the Titans are, is play action pass.
Action pass.
So, but Houston 31. Their win over Jacksonville gave us a little bit of credit for them, saying maybe Houston's better than we thought. Now by the transitive property, that's no longer a very impressive
And we
win.
saw Jacksonville.
I'm so glad.
And then
you
when they
said
were
it.
close against Denver, it was like, oh, they played Denver
Yeah.
close. Again, not impressive anymore.
That's icky.
So glad you said we're doing a redo of what
Frauds
is that?
versus for real?
versus real.
Yeah.
I've fallen off the wagon.
Yeah, we do need to do that.
Because now he put my reel in, I think, his top 7. So not going to say it yet. I'll
Not great,
leave it
Bob.
at that, But yeah.
Okay.
Number
Hello.
32, Ramon Foster.
32, Houston.
Okay.
Just a bad team. That quarterback, I like Davis Mills and what they got going on, but they got hardly any production. That defense will be a little bit of a challenge because Lovey finds a way to get them going. That's about it. They can't score. They can't do a whole lot, and it's just a bad team that Bill O'Brien just left scrap behind to.
And
The gift that keeps on giving.
he's like smiling over there at Alabama until he loses that job. So I am on the same page as Ramon.
Yeah.
Okay.
And look, I mentioned it earlier in the show. The Texans' run defense is absolutely atrocious, ranked last in the league, giving up an average of 164.7 yards on the ground. Yo, King Henry.
200.
You ready?
Telling you, I know it would have been cool for Derrick Henry to break Eddie George's touchdown record with Eddie in the building on Titans Oilers alumni weekend this past weekend, but doing it in the place where the franchise began wouldn't suck either.
That'd be pretty nice.
He's so petty.
I mean, it wouldn't. Am I wrong?
No, it'd be great.
Thank you.
Y'all petty as hell.
That's right. Jonathan Schaefer, 32.
32. This man said this, and he is the head coach of this team.
These nuts.
To Detroit Lions.
Schaefer and I again, 3 for 3.
These nuts.
Our top 7 is not going to be the same, but
That's great.
everyone loves Dan Campbell. Everyone, I think, still loves Man Campbell, as he's affectionately called.
That's me.
I feel like we have now woken up to the fact that, like, oh, the Lions are still the Lions. Like, they have a fun head coach who's easy to root for. Doesn't make them any better team.
Look, you can't have a head coach in his introductory press conference say he's going to bite people's kneecaps off.
I mean, you can.
You knew it wasn't going to go
You
well.
could.
Right.
Yeah, you can, but it's stupid.
Yeah.
As a player, all I would have heard was, man, it's going to be a hard-ass camp.
These nuts.
And it was. Like, they were down.
Tell the family that you're not going to be able to play much ball out back after practice when you get home.
That's all I would have thought. Kayla.
Hey, boys.
Come in talking bite kneecaps.
Boys, I'm going to bring somebody in to pitch for you a little bit if you need to go take some BP.
Camp was
Dad's
hard.
going to be out of commission for a couple weeks.
Yeah, that's all I heard.
Appreciate you.
There's some coaches that have that kind of stuff that they do.
It is.
What is it? We need to find. I'll do this in the break. As the enterprising journalist that I am, and find the
Small J.
the coffee. That's fair. The coffee routine that Dan Campbell has.
Oh, my.
Yeah. It's like Kerry Combs.
He drinks 2 extra large Dunkin' coffees with a shot of espresso, I think, at each of them.
Okay,
Yeah.
you know
What
those
it was?
big industrial makers that are in restaurants and truck stops?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just picks it up and just
Exactly,
pours
like a
all of it
thermos.
into his mouth.
Yeah. It's like his service.
If they won, maybe they would just douse them with coffee. We'll never know. 615-737-1045 is the number. When we come back, our top 7 of the NFL. Do the Tennessee Titans make the cut for any of us in the top 7 teams of the National Football League heading into Houston this weekend? On the phones at 615-737-1045. It's Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors on 1045 The Zone.
It's Ramon Foster from myphdweightloss.com. I'm here to tell you guys, I know you've been hearing me talk about it for a little while as far as what I've been going through in this journey. Well, let me tell you this. A standard male client for My PhD Weight Loss loses about 3 to 5 pounds a week. For the female clients, it's about 2 to 3 pounds a week. And I know what you're thinking. Ramon, well, this is another one of those gimmicks. Well, no, not this time, because I can tell you what I had for dinner last night, and I'll be real with you. It was really good. I had some Italian sausage with some peppers and onions, some sauerkraut on the side with some stone ground mustard. That was a real good meal. I'm going to be honest. I was proud of myself for that moment right there. It's like, I did this myself. Take that, rest of the household. But in general, this is a plan for you, only for you. I just reordered some of my meal supplements yesterday, man. They will be sent right to my house. They make it easy. This plan is for you, not for anybody else. I haven't been hangry. I haven't been hungry. I haven't just been on edge about eating, because why? This plan is for me. All the calories you need and exactly when you need them to. If this is something that interests you, go to myphdweightloss.com and for sure tell them that Ramon sent you.
It's Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors on 104.5 The Zone. The Kings bringing us back from
It's
break.
a great song.
Will Bowling,
It is,
Ramon
I
Foster,
love it.
and Kayla Anderson with you. The Kings. Kings of Leon, of course. Talking about the bottom three teams of the NFL. Let's see if Jonathan Schaefer and I can continue our 100% batting average
Yeah,
here.
probably not.
Hashtag twinning.
Number 7 in the
Hashtag no.
NFL. Ramon Foster leads us off with the number 7.
I got the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, interesting.
Of all years, I like them. They lost to Philly, and Philly is just that good still, though. But Dak's back, and I feel like they will trend up even more with him back as their stable quarterback. And I know, of course, everybody wanted to go for the backup. No. That's what happened with Bailey Zappi. We'll see him be exposed soon. Dallas, I think this year is a good team, especially with that dynamic duo. They have a Pollard and Zeke, too.
I'm surprised they're only 7.
Yeah.
I think they're.
Well,
I'm a believer in the Cowboys, too, which
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm saying.
Harsh critic over here.
Don't say that too loud to their fan
I
base,
know.
boy.
Kayla?
I'm so excited over here. I have to give an honorable mention.
Yep.
Yes! I'm giving an honorable mention
Okay.
to my Seattle Seahawks. Now,
Have
I'm
them
not
8?
putting them at 7.
Okay.
They're at about a 7.5. And I say this because who expected Geno Smith
Let him cook.
to be doing what Geno
Let him
Smith is
cook.
doing up in the Pacific Northwest? He's got a 107.7 passer rating, folks, third best under Mahomes and Allen. And they've had a little running back come out as of late. Kenneth Walker,
That's right.
Tennessee native in that last game.
Mm-hmm.
Did pretty well.
He's pretty good.
And so I'm going to give him honorable mention.
107.7 passer rating. Sounds like
got-
a radio station.
That's what I, was
know, it
thinking. It was
does.
a rock station.
107.7 the Gino with traffic and weather on the 8s coming up in about 15 minutes. But first,
it's X-Spot and Squeegee in the morning.
we've got 35 minutes of commercial-free music coming up next after
It
this
does-
on 107.7
That's
the
nice.
Gino.
Traffic
That's-
and weather's on the 8.
That was really good, guys.
That was
But
really
I
good.
got excited for once because I got to talk about a team that's,
Of course.
somewhat impressed. And I like the division, right? It's poor division, and they could, if they continue to do what they're doing, I think they could be at the top of it and stay there. But my real number 7 is the Baltimore Ravens,
Okay.
which was Will's team that he believed in. And I think you still can believe in this team.
I still do,
4-3
unfortunately.
right now, but they are first in the AFC North still.
Yep.
So Tampa Bay up next, which,
Ramon, how does that make you feel?
oh,
At least
Sorry
it's
about that.
Baltimore and not Cincy or Cleveland.
Oh, wow.
true.
Yeah.
I think if they can get past Tampa Bay, if you look at their schedule after Tampa Bay,
Yep.
it is icky.
Okay.
So they could take control.
Jonathan Schaefer.
I think this will be the only time they're in the top 7 this year.
Oh.
What?
And the video that I think of is Stacy's mom. Because of Zach Wilson, the New York Jets, Jets,
And our
Jets.
streak of picking the same teams comes to an end.
Well, I knew it would.
Unfortunately.
With the Jets at number 7. But
I
I think that's the
actually-
only time they're going to be. But you know what? You give them their flowers
Yeah.
at 5-2. I don't
Sure.
think they're a great team.
No.
But hey, they're 5-2.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny.
I'm okay with that.
I
okay
had
with
the
that.
Jets
I'm okay with
7
that.
and then talked myself out of it.
Because
so we
I
almost
think,
said the same.
I think Baltimore, Cincinnati, the Titans, I think all those teams are
I completely agree.
probably better than
so
the Jets.
I have 2 honorable mentions of I think the Titans and Jets are right there on the outside.
I
right
can't
at
put
8.
the Titans in the top 7 because of the offense. I can't do it.
I had
Yeah.
to penalize them. I had the Titans 7 last week. I had to slightly ding them for not scoring an offensive touchdown.
Oh,
Slightly.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not much. Because there are other teams that had 344 passing yards in the first half. Namely, my number 7 team, the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati is figuring things out a little bit on offense. Joe Burrow flirted with Norm Van Brocken's 1951 single-game passing record of the NFL of 554 yards.
Wow.
481 yards, an offense that racked up 537 yards of total offense. After holding the Saints to 6 points in the second half in Week 6, Cincinnati's defense is starting to put things together a little bit. They held the Atlanta Falcons and Arthur Smith's offense to 214 total offensive yards on Sunday in Cincinnati. Joe Burrow had 335 passing yards on passes of 10-plus yards through the air. Fourth most in a single game since 2016. I think that offensive line is starting to mesh a little bit, and I think Joe Burrow looks a lot more confident throwing to those receivers again.
Well, that's why I put them in my reel when we got talking about that back a few weeks ago,
Uh-huh.
because I just love Joe Burrow. I don't know what it is about his moxie or whatever it is that, they have weapons around.
Swagger.
You knew they could get it together. Now, whether that lasts, well, I don't know, but those are good points.
Yeah.
Let's quickly do number 6 and then save our top 5s for the start of hour 4.
I had them in my top 7 last week. I got them again, the Jets. I can't go against them at this point. They even though it was an ugly dub and all those types of things, they are winning games, and the Jets, as of recently, haven't been. I got them number 6 in my list right there. I just like the way they win and how they go about it.
Yeah, I got the Dallas Cowboys, and I know Moan had them at, 7?
Yep.
So with those reasons that Moan kind of mentioned, with Dak back, we'll see what he can do.
Schaefer?
Cowboys at 6.
Okay. For me, it is the Baltimore Ravens at 6. I have the Ravens ahead of the Bengals simply because they beat them head-to-head a couple of weeks ago. I think the Bengals are probably better than the Ravens, but right now, by virtue of the win that they had over them literally this month, I have to reward Baltimore for that. For the third time in the last 4 weeks, the Ravens didn't get to 350 total yards on offense. And Lamar Jackson was 9 of 16 for 120 in the win over the Cleveland Browns.
That's rare.
Was not great. The time of possession was better. Gus Edwards gets back in there. Justice Hill, that entire rushing attack. J.K. Dobbins, again, is out. That team is just so much better when J.K. Dobbins is healthy. You talk about underrated running backs. When that guy is healthy, he is a very, very good player for that team. And they just have it. That's been like defense against the dark arts. Like whoever's running back for the Baltimore Ravens, it's like defense against the dark arts at Hogwarts. They're just gone within a couple weeks. They're always, I feel like, on their 4th or 5th back. So interested to see what that team continues to look like. Of course, primetime Thursday, like you mentioned, against Tampa Bay for that Baltimore team. 615-737-1045 is the number. Our top 5 teams of the NFL when we come back. Ron Slay at 9:20. And look at the clock, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for the 4th quarter of the show. 4's up around Nashville, Tennessee. Maybe keep it between the navigational beacons and keep your hand on the wheel. Maybe just one hand up for maybe a second if you're sitting at a red light. Other than that, you have no excuse. 4 fingers in the air for the 4th quarter. That begins next on 104.5 The Zone.
9:01, good morning. I'm Jonathan Schaefer from the Superbook.com sports desk. The Colts have named Sam Ellinger their starting quarterback for Sunday's game against the Commanders. Matt Ryan sustained a grade 2 shoulder separation against the Titans on Sunday, but Coach Frank Reich said the move is intended to be for the remainder of the season. Looks like the Titans have broken the Colts. The New York Jets are acquiring running back James Robinson in a trade with the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Jets will send a 2023 conditional 6th-round pick to the Jags, which becomes a 5th-rounder if Robinson rushes for 600 yards this season. The move fills the void following Breece Hall's season-ending knee injury. Meanwhile, the Titans have signed tackle Eric Smith to the practice squad. Monday Night Football, Bears 33, Patriots 14. To the NBA, Grizzlies defeated the Nets 134-124. Ja Morant, 38 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists.
Morant, 4 seconds on the shot clock. Deep three from the left wing is good. Ring it up. Put 3 on the board. Morant's got 38.
He is a special player. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Four quarters of the show and one more to go. On Ramon, Kayla, and Will. Powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors here at 104.5 The Zone. Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, Will Bowling. Brought to you on the Nashville airwaves by the best producer in the world, Jonathan Schaefer.
The best producer in the world!
And that voice will join us in studio coming up in 15 minutes. First time that I've seen Ron Slay since his appearance in an impromptu fashion on Titans Talkback on Sunday.
I mean, he got a key to the building.
One Ronald Sylvester Slay joins us to recap Matthew Nathaniel Ryan's trip to Nissan Stadium. His final game as QB1 of the Indianapolis Colts this season. Yeah. And also preview Tennessee and Kentucky.
And let's just be clear.
That's what he's going to call
Slay
it.
broke Matt Ryan, not the Titans.
He did. He did. Mentally broken.
Give credit where credit's due, right, KK?
Right.
We finish up our top 7 and bottom 3 in the NFL today, weekly on the Tuesday edition of the show. And number 5, we will begin with Ramon Foster.
New York Football Giants.
Okay.
The Saquon is solid. Okay, that dude is a bad man. I got to give it to him. The way he's running right now, he's putting the team on his back. Daniel Jones also being very creative at the quarterback position too, making plays. I don't know if he's a quarterback of the future, but under Brian Dable, of course, I always tell you, with a good head coach and an OC, that quarterback triangle right there can be good, and I think he's good for him so far. Their defense is also being really good too. They're only giving up 18.6 a game. They actually ranks them 6 of 32. I don't know if they're serious, that good, but what I'm saying is I'm giving respect where it's due at. I got to give it up to the Giants.
We talk about all the time, and I have the Giants in the same spot. We talk about all the time head coaches, what they can do for an organization. You've seen it straight up with the Tennessee Titans. I think they have something special in Brian Dable. And yes, it helps that Saquon Barkley is back. He's feeling good. He is second right now in terms of rushing yards, right under Nick Chubb. They got a good thing going, and Danny Dimes looks more confident, and I feel like every game he gets that confidence going a little more and more because, look, he was kind of on the get out of town block coming in here to this season, and now I feel like that's not the case.
Right. I think at this point, Saquon Barkley has made himself back in that top group of running backs in the NFL.
Yep.
I think it's Chubb, Henry, and Barkley.
Yeah.
And then it's everybody else. Not in that order. Derrick Henry until somebody can beat him for an entire season as the rushing champ.
Sure.
And then sustain that the next year. Derrick Henry is still the king of that position. But I think it's those 3 and then it's everybody else right now.
Yeah, 100%.
Certainly. Jonathan Schaefer, number 5.
Minnesota Vikings at number 5.
Oh.
A team that's good, but I just don't know.
I forgot to put the Vikings in my top 7.
You know what?
That's
I
gross
did, and I
negligence.
had to go back and redo it. That's why I put
I
honorable
really
mention
forgot.
Seahawks.
They're
Yeah.
5-1.
I get that.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
you got to put them
I
there.
literally just forgot that. Like, I'm not even going to lie to you. This is a demerit on me because they're a top 7 team. I literally just forgot to put them in.
They're forgettable.
Here's the thing. KK's right. They're forgettable.
They're one of the most forgettable teams in the NFL.
Because who's their quarterback?
Kirk Cousins.
Kirk. Well, you say that, and behind the camera, I got him number 4.
Well,
They had a
that's where
bye
I have
last
them.
week. Yeah, look at us.
So, and I have the
Air
Giants
five.
at 4, so we've just got those.
So let me revise quickly.
Oh no!
No, that's okay, bro.
No.
I'm gonna give my top. I'm still gonna give my top 7 today as I did it. It's wrong because the Vikings aren't in it. If I were changing it, I would put the Vikings 6 and the Ravens to 7 and just bump that back.
Will,
one.
players mess up.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, I just need you to know that.
I'm not mad about it, but
What does that J. Cole song say? Nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect.
Okay. Thank you.
But Will, guess what? But you perfect for me.
But you're perfect for me.
There we go.
Number
That's
5.
Missy Elliott saying that.
It's a
I
great
have
song.
the
It is.
Dallas Football Cowboys. Trayvon Diggs is incredible. Micah Parsons is incredible. That defense is unbelievable.
Oh.
Dak Prescott, it wasn't great in the win over the Detroit Lions. 19 of 25, 207 yards. I continue to believe that Tony Pollard is a better all-around running back than Ezekiel Elliott. 12 carries for 83 for him. Cowboys were good on the ground in that game. 139 yards, 2 Ezekiel Elliott short touchdown runs. I have got them 5. I actually would still put them ahead of Minnesota in my revised rankings as well. Number 4.
Minnesota.
There you go. And
Just-
Kayla, you've got them
That's
there
what
too?
I have
Yeah.
Minnesota as, yeah.
Again, I don't know what it's going to turn into, but we haven't, of course, Detroit down, Green Bay down. I mean, they're in
Yeah.
a position to actually just kind of have a year that they don't have to worry about Aaron Rodgers spoiling their party. And Chicago, Minnesota, they're good. Running game, passing game, a steady enough quarterback.
That's what I was just going to say.
Yep.
I think the team right now, just a steady Eddie group.
Yep.
And if they continue to do that, they'll be there. But there's nothing that sticks out about this team. And again, I always just question Kirk Cousins, whether that's right or wrong.
Right.
It is what it is because of the background as a quarterback. So
I like it.
that's what I got.
Schaefer?
The 2021 Tennessee Titans, known as the 2022 New York Giants.
Yeah.
I also have the Giants 4th. Look, you got to reward them for just finding ways to win right now. I mean, in the fourth quarter, Saquon Barkley in this game had 10 carries for 72 yards as they beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. Daniel Jones joins Lamar Jackson as the only players this season with 200 pass yards, 100 rushing yards, a rushing TD, and a passing TD in the same game. Daniel Jones, they have unlocked his rushing ability. That is why he is playing better and is looking more comfortable. Career high 49.4 rush yards per game, including 110 and a score on Sunday. Only has 4 turnovers in 7 games, and that was more impressive considering they had 2 more members of that offensive line go down with injuries in this game.
Yeah.
Since 2016, only Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, Josh Allen, and now Daniel Jones have had 200 through the air, 100 on the ground, a rushing TD, and a pass TD in the same game.
Wowzers.
That's a wild company to include Daniel Jones in.
When you say that, though, all I can remember is that run. What was it? A couple
the
years ago
sniper
when
run
he just fell flat on
Thursday
I'm
Night
sorry.
Football
It
or
just-
Monday Night Football.
It's embedded in my mind.
He
it was
continues
great.
to do that. He did that this past weekend, too.
great.
It's like, golly, dude, your feet.
Sniper, big green turf monster. Number 3.
I got KC.
I think we're all gonna have the same top.
We
3.
all have.
I actually flipped one this week, too.
Uh-oh.
I actually put the Bills ahead.
Oh, well, spoiler alert! Spoiler alert.
Well,
Kayla, you're number 3.
since you said we had the same 3. Okay.
Number 3, Kansas City. Patrick
Yeah.
Mahomes, looking like Patrick Mahomes still. That's a team that it's going to be hard to beat.
Sure.
Like I'm looking at that on Tennessee schedule, and I'm saying, what are you going to do to stop this?
Right. Schaefer.
KC3.
Yeah, me too. I was tempted to put them 2 ahead of Buffalo.
Really?
I was tempted.
And the reasoning?
But because Buffalo beat them, I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
It wasn't that long ago. But
what made you
it's
think
because Marquez Valdez-Scantling and Juju Smith-Schuster are much more comfortable in that offense now than they were against Buffalo even just a month ago.
Sure.
And Buffalo is so banged up with injuries. They're getting a little healthier off the bye week this past weekend and kind of getting back to normal. But, man, they've got a lot of guys who are still out.
Yeah.
a lot of guys who have been out. And ultimately, that counts against them, just like it counts against the Titans not being in our top sevens as well. But, 111 yards from Valdez-Scantling after 0 the week before, 3 touchdowns from McCole Hardman. I thought this was interesting. He had 2 rushing touchdowns as well. McCole Hardman became the first wide receiver in the Super Bowl era with 2 or more rushing TDs and 1 or more receiving TD in a single game.
Dang.
I didn't realize that had never happened before. So
That's pretty wild.
Kansas City 3. Buffalo 2 for everyone? Or not
He
for you. So
switched it.
you've got, why do you have Philadelphia
Yeah,
second?
I'm really curious. on
I
this.
got Philly second because I think the high powerness of what Buffalo has, like they can pick, they literally can peel your fingernails out. They can pull that's where they are as a team. Like they can dissect you multiple different ways. And that loss to Miami that they had was just one of those like anomalies. I don't know if they do anything less than dominate from here on out.
Okay.
And that's why I feel like there's a slip for Philly. Even though that defense and offense is ranked 4th as far as points scored and defended, I just don't see a matchup in which almost any team can last against Buffalo at this point.
And I almost feel like nowadays in the NFL, being undefeated is almost a curse because you're just
100%.
expecting one of those games to go terribly wrong. Whereas with Buffalo, the point that you made is they kind of got it out of their system early on, learned from it. And in that type of team that learns from a loss like that, likely not going to do it again. So that's a good point. Where the Eagles, I could see that. They could mess up here down the stretch or
And
fall
Buffalo's
backwards.
2 in points and the number 1 scoring defense right now. They're only giving up 13.5 points a game.
That's without Tre'Davious White at corner.
Come on, man.
Who's going to get
Which is
back
crazy.
and be healthy for them at some point. Okay, Elam filling in a lot for him, the rookie out of Florida. Yeah, I mean, I think you can certainly make the argument because at the end of the day, you trust Josh Allen much more than you trust Jalen Hurts when push comes to shove, when those two teams are both trying to make a run.
Are you okay or are y'all okay with and if everything stays the same or having a Buffalo and Philadelphia Super Bowl? Or do you want a little mix up?
There is not enough Crisco in the world for all the light poles in Phoenix, Arizona, for the just craziness that would ensue for those two fan bases winning the Super Bowl.
I kind of think that's cool.
You think it's cool? Yeah,
I really kind of think that's a neat. And honestly, with the Philadelphia storyline with their sports teams right now, whether you like them or not, it's crazy because all their teams are winning. It's
crazy.
Even the Philadelphia Flyers. Shout out John Tortorella. Okay. Sorry.
They get all of that because they had to put up with Ben Simmons not shooting 3-pointers for so long in Philadelphia. They got rid of him and things turned around.
No, Philadelphia should never have nice things.
I know. I agree.
Sound like a Western PA guy back there.
No, just annex it into New Jersey because it's a dump.
Okay. Jonathan Schaefer telling us how he really feels this morning. Schaefer, you have Buffalo 2, Philly 1?
Philly 2, Buffalo 1.
Oh! Whoa.
Buffalo's a better team.
Hey, now.
They're a better team.
And Philly ain't bad.
And look, having Philly 1, Buffalo 2 is completely fine, too. I just think Buffalo's the best team in the league.
All right. There you go.
Doesn't mean if they played in the Super Bowl, Philadelphia couldn't beat them.
And that's top 7, bottom 3 in week number 7. When we come back, we recap the Titans' win over the Indianapolis Colts with a man who needs no introduction. Ronald Sylvester Slay joins us, previewing Tennessee and Kentucky as well, and the Firebird that's on the other end of the field for Ron Slay. And quite an athlete from the state of Tennessee playing for the Wildcats. We talk with our guy from 3HL. Ron Slay up next on 104.5 The Zone.
Change is coming, and you need to be prepared for it. Hey, this is Ramon Foston. Did you know that new regulations are coming soon that could increase the price of replacing your older HVAC system by over 20%? That's why you need to act now and get the older system replaced by my friends at Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. They offer 18 months with no payments. You can lock in today's price and not have to pay until spring of 2024. or you can get up to $1,500 off your new HVAC system. Spring Hill Heating and Cooling is always backed by 10-year parts and labor warranties on York products, and Spring Hill Heating and Cooling is also a York certified comfort expert company. If you're in need of repair work also, they offer free service calls with their repairs, plus low monthly payments on those repairs. They are the heating and cooling company that can take care of all of your HVAC needs. Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, available anytime at springhillac.com.
That music can only mean one thing. It is time for Ron Slay. Hurricane Slay has touched down on the 104.5 The Zone Studios. Alongside Ramon Foster and Kayla Anderson, I'm Will Bowling. We are Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors here in Nashville. Jonathan Schaefer, the best producer in the world, making the show happen. Didn't even take the opportunity there. 615-737-1045. The number if you want to jump in.
That's because Buck was in here talking to me. Somebody more important than you.
That's not very important.
Hey now.
You about to add something to your resume or something, Buck?
There's today's
going back
October.
there?
Today's the 25th of October. It's the first time this month somebody has given Buck that much credit for saying something important. 25th day of the month. Impressive.
Lord.
We gotta have a celebrity
Good
boxing
Lord.
match.
I want
Good
that
morning,
boxing
Slay.
match
How are
to
you?
happen.
What up?
First time I have seen Slay since he made a guest appearance on Titans Talk back on Sunday.
Well, I'm in the building, Bill.
You are.
Again.
I like your hat.
I'm always glad to see you in the building.
Let's go.
You like that?
Compton.
Ooh,
Represent
that's
the West
sweet.
Coast.
Yeah,
Kayla's
CBT,
all
baby.
about
West Coast, best coast.
CBT.
She's all about the left coast, too.
Guess what?
She
Ain't nothing
is.
wrong with it. Ain't nothing wrong with it out
She
there.
Don't be hating, Mo.
Just expensive.
Nah,
That's the
I
only
appreciate
problem.
it. Yeah.
That's the
No.
only problem.
They coming here and making it more expensive,
That's
too.
very
That's true, too.
Yeah. I love the West Coast, man.
I like it in spurts.
You know what I mean? You know what?
Yeah.
It's a lot going on. There's a lot going on.
Well, I'll say this. I can appreciate the left coast going to San Diego. L.A.,
Yeah, give me
land
LA.
of the lost.
Yeah, it's
Well,
every
not
bit
if
of it.
you're going to have a party.
Yeah,
Not
not
if
a
you're going
perfect
to
place.
hang out
Okay.
on the beach.
Yeah.
Okay.
And nightlife, entertainment life.
Yeah,
like
it's
it's
your birthday
always
party.
something to do. You know
I
what
lived
mean?
there for a summer. I know.
Yeah, I'm with it. That's where you got to go if you're going to be the show.
He done been out there and partied out there, Kayla. You know what I mean?
I'm
My boy,
sure
my
he
boy
has.
out there
100%.
yacht living and everything.
Yeah,
you know what
he
I mean?
did that.
So
He did that. Yeah.
He did that. You feel me?
Slay, it's a big week to be Ron Slay. It's always a
Hey,
big
man,
week to be
listen.
Ron Slay. But between Sam Ellinger taking over for Matthew Nathaniel Ryan as the head coach of the preseason AFC South favorite Indianapolis Colts, and Kentucky coming to Knoxville, Tennessee this weekend.
Yeah.
Are you getting sleep? Are you good? Do you need anything? Like vibe check on Ron Slay's week this week because
Go off,
you're creating a lot lot for the people.
Go
Hey,
off,
man,
King.
all I'm doing, man, is just living a great life, man. You know
You
what I
are
mean?
living a great life.
You know, these last 3 weeks, man, you know, sometimes you just know. You know what I mean? Like, I was just really just waiting on the rest of the world to catch up.
Sure.
And I tell you what now, Will, let me tell you this.
Please
Caleb,
tell me.
I'm trying to tell these people something. They got to listen to me, Savage. Now, when you walk in and you got vets, you know what I mean? You got very professional people.
Of course.
You know what I mean? That made me pull back a little bit, Kayla. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna listen to him. You know what I mean? I got my man, my dog, Savage. You know what I mean? He was telling me what's going on. Matt Ryan really got on the week before this, that, and the other. I'm like, you know what? You know, I value his opinion.
Yeah,
I value his opinion,
Of
Kayla.
course.
So I'm saying I'm gonna hold up.
He ain't say much.
Nah, I said, oh, you know, I'm gonna put my brakes a little bit. Then I had a guy like, man, Mike Keefe, man. You know, he came in and told me, man, you got to see him, man. Like, man, he still got something in the tank. You know, this guy has career. He's this, that. And I said, you know what? Mike, I value your opinion. I'm going to hold up. I ain't going to say much. Then you get a guy like Uncle Coach Matt that come in. You know, he puts his hand on your shoulder,
Yeah, he
Kayla,
do.
and you know what I mean? It's a
Wow.
presence that comes in with him. And I'm like, you know what? Coach Mack said you got to pump down a little bit. I said, you know what? I'm going to chill, Caleb. But then the week comes where you can't run away from it too long.
Yeah.
And the man got to go out there and play the game.
Yeah, he did.
And you know what happened, Savage? The man started to do Thaniel-like things.
Yes, he did.
And guess what? Will, when he did the first Thaniel thing, I looked at my brother Kevin Dyson that was down the wall, and I said, KD! There it is. Katie bust out laughing. I said, man, you know what, man, this is good, man. Let me go to the bathroom, man. I'm going to go in the bathroom, pay the water bill, get on out of there, wash my hands. And just so happened, Kayla, in the bathroom, they got
That's
the
right.
speakers playing.
Yeah.
Titans radio.
Titans radio going. Lo and behold, before I could dry my hands, Matt Nathaniel Ryan did it again.
Yeah.
And I said, no, he did not. And Kayla, you should have seen me scrambling, getting out of that little bathroom. I said, you open up door, you get me out this bathroom. I'm going to get in there. I got to go see this with my own eyes. No, Nathaniel did not put a helmet on and get out there again after they told me he wouldn't.
I'm really glad the camera doesn't freeze anymore when somebody pounds the table because Rod Slay about just karate chops this new desk in half.
Kayla, I had to get there and see it. Because listen.
Not even talking about Kentucky yet.
Listen, I believe in the voice of Mike Keefe and Coach Mack when they talking. Because I listen, I paid a day when I can just hear, hell yes. Yeah. Not yes, but hell yes. Yeah. And give me that one more time, say. Wow. That right there does it. And that's what was playing in my head, but they wasn't saying it. So I said, oh, let me get out there. Couldn't be what I thought it was. And yes, it was. It was 2 picks. One for a pick 6.
Let's go.
You know what the only score was for the Titans that day?
What?
1 touchdown.
Oh, exactly.
Compliments. What a defense. Now, see, then I'll come back to my brother Savage.
He did.
Savage told me, hey, man, listen.
Yeah.
They got to make a choice. Jonathan Taylor's coming back. Matt Ryan's on fire. What do? Do you ride the hot hand? They made a choice.
Yeah, they did.
Yes, they did.
They made a choice and said, we're going to ride the hot hand.
Yeah. Especially in that second half.
Kayla, when things like that happen, you got to go back to the paperwork and look and see who signed. Because you could be tricked. You got to look at is it legible? Yeah. Because I think they thought it was a Matt.
Right.
Yeah. They thought it was an M. Kayla.
Was it forgery?
That was an N. They need to go check that man's background because he is just like my man in what's my man? What's my man Leonardo DiCaprio in the movie? Catch Me If You Can. What was his name? Martin Abagnale. Abagnale. Yeah, come on, Safe. You know the movie.
Hell, I don't know what you're talking about.
Y'all are crazy. This is the greatest movie on earth.
With Leo? Catch Me If You Can.
Yes.
Yeah.
Frank Abagnale. That was his name.
There you are.
He could forge his signature. He went past the bar in Louisiana to become a lawyer and never went to school. He could do it. This is who was Matt Ryan. That was his predecessor. Yeah. And he was a son of him. And he came in and he tricked Jim Irsay. That's why when Jim Irsay was walking down that hall, he was walking. And it was slow.
Barely.
And I saw it. Yeah. And I thought somebody was going to have to lift him up and put him on a dolly and roll him out of there. But instead, he had the energy. He mustered the energy to get that little golf cart. And when he sat down, you know what I saw, Caleb, when he sat down? I saw everything get lifted from his shoulders.
Yeah.
And he said,
what'd he say?
No more Nathaniel. No more Nathaniel from this day forward. He will not be on this team.
Pass it on to glory.
Get me to my private jet and put them guys on the phone. Get that guy Frank Wright. Get what's the GM name?
Chris Ballard.
Get him on the line. Ellinger, lace him up, boy. You're going in.
And guess what Ellinger said?
We're back.
Hey, dog. I can't make this up.
Tabernacle.
I can't make this up.
Shoemaker old school.
Incredible.
Bubba old school.
Ron Slay, the best mixer in the world.
Come on, Savage. Hey,
What a collection play that.
That's all I'm saying, man. Hey, listen, man. Y'all can join us every Tuesday, man, at 9:20. We'll be right here, man.
Doors
Bring
of
the
the
studio.
studio.
Request,
The doors of the studio.
just
Lift them hands up.
pass that plate to the left as soon as it gets to you. If you got any prayer requests, let a deacon know. We will be happy. We will be more than happy to address your concerns.
We like the kind of jingle, but we prefer the kind that fold, baby. That's all I'm saying.
Put something in the plate.
That's all I'm saying.
Our brother Matt Ryan, pass it on to glory of retirement.
Hey, dog, I'm telling you, man. I was quiet all week.
Yeah, you was.
In
I was
memoriam.
quiet all week.
I owned up to it, too.
You did.
I did. When you wrong, you wrong. Kayla, I was on the Matt Ryan boat.
Yep.
Said,
And you were wrong.
I was wrong.
I told him.
And Jeff bullied the $80 million guard.
Man.
Quinn.
They would take, dude, I thought it was, they were taking turns with Quentin Nelson.
Yeah, they were.
Like, I thought in Indianapolis, like, Danico he was like, man, let me get him, man. And Big Jeff said, all right, you get him.
Yeah.
This time, it was, Big Jeff wanted him. TL wanted him.
Yep.
Danico, like, everybody, that's a, dog.
Turnstile.
I don't know how quick you fall, but, boy.
If he ain't healthy, then he don't need to be out there.
Trouble. Because guess what? Like Mike Tomlin said, we do not care.
I saw this
exactly.
the other day. Saw this last night.
We do not care.
That's
Yeah.
right. Thank you, Mike. The Titans are the only team in the NFL with 3 players who have 4+ sacks.
Yeah.
Danico Autry leads the team with 5. Jeffrey Simmons has 4.5, and Rashad
then
Weaver
Weeks.
has 4. And that's
Yep.
without Bud Dupree
crazy.
playing half the season.
Who
That's
logged
crazy.
a sack this week, too.
Who logged a sack this weekend, and we'll have 5 probably within the next 2 weeks.
And that pressured the hell out of Matt Ryan.
10 pressures.
Yes.
There's somebody, it's pardon my take, the Barstool podcast says that it looks like elder abuse every time Matt Ryan gets sacked.
Hey, man.
Like, you have to, look away
Yeah.
when Matt Ryan gets sacked because you're legitimately concerned for his health. Well, we won't have to look away anymore.
The whole thing is like, what did you really expect?
That's right.
That was my whole thing leading into it when they announced it in March and we played it on 3HL yesterday. Dog, I was ecstatic because to me, you just gave the AFC South to the Titans again.
Yeah, you did.
You're depending to get you over the hump, not to give it to Jonathan Taylor, which you carbon copied the Titans for that purpose, but to go get a quarterback that you want him to turn the clock back to carry you over the hump.
Ooh.
And who are you throwing? The man wouldn't even throw the Calvin Ridley. The man wouldn't even throw the Julio Jones when he was out there.
didn't.
The man wouldn't even throw the Kyle Pitts. And you want to put him with Pittman and
And whoever
Pierce
else.
Paris Campbell.
You know what I mean? Come on, y'all. Come
And
on,
you
man.
know what's even worse? They're down
on now.
bad because when he got traded, he got a contract adjustment. This is by Ian Rappaport yesterday. $24.7 million fully guaranteed this year and $12 million fully guaranteed next year. That's light work. They'll probably cut him, but they also get an additional 17.2 that is guaranteed for injury that becomes fully guaranteed. So it's probably why they benched him because they know he's gonna get hurt or fake hurt or something. So they stuck like Chuck right now.
Got to be more
They
careful.
But this is what happened. They trying to microwave a quarterback though.
That's the whole problem.
Yeah. He
That's the whole
thought,
problem.
yeah.
They
he
just
tried to
forgot to put
microwave
a paper towel over him and he blew up.
They should have begged Phillip Rivers to stay a little while longer. If we can get a little bit more out of you, we'll be all right to try to find something. And he wasn't much greater. I'm just saying his game time savviness was different than a guy like Carson Nathaniel and Matt Nathaniel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I told him last week, man, David Long, just be patient. And
Incredible.
He just stepped right in front of it.
Incredible. So Tennessee plays Kentucky on Saturday.
Kentucky.
I apologize.
Take the T out.
Kentucky
What
on
was your
Saturday.
problem, man?
Get it straight.
I know.
They get respect all through the year.
Of course, just
Except
not
on
this.
Yeah, that's
Except
all.
this
I know
week.
you've got a lot of respect for Firebird Barryon Brown, what he's been able to do there.
To an extent.
To an extent. Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
look at this. I love it.
Yeah, that's my guy. To an
We
extent.
talked earlier about the fact that Kentucky has one of the slowest offenses in college football in terms of their snaps per second. If Tennessee gets off to another fast start, you force Kentucky out of that identity, you got issues. But if Will Levis, who I've on the record said, if he goes number 1 overall in the draft, I will drink a cup of coffee with mayonnaise in it live on this show.
I can't wait.
It's not going to happen because he's not going to go number 1 overall.
You'd be shocked.
If he throws another pick 6 to somebody like he did to Alontae Taylor and like he did to Mississippi State a few weeks ago, it's a wrap on Saturday.
Yeah, my whole thing coming into that, when you look back at last season, this was a baby fresh out the incubator. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you just so happy when you was in the delivery room. You're like, oh, they brought him in there. He made it. Like, yo, yeah, let me feed my baby. And it's just like, okay, you got to just take this. You know what I mean? You just got to take this formula. That's all we can give him right now. We got to be special with him. This little baby, man, when the baby got all the formula in him, the baby jumped down off the bed. You know what I mean? And started
I'm
walking.
picturing this.
Yeah,
me too. I see it.
I
I
tell
see
you,
it.
what's the little midget, man? The little midget, man.
little person.
Easy.
Oh, excuse me.
Hasbulla.
Hasbulla.
That's
He
right.
jumped down and turned into him. You're like, hey, where's that little baby? How'd you grow up so fast? You answering doors? You fixing coffee like this? This offense has matured way quicker than what you thought it would. And a lot more weapons. And you got to see a glimpse of them last week when you got to see a Walker Merrill get in there.
Yep.
You got to see a Squirrel White get in there. You still getting to see glimpses of Ramel Keaton. You know what I mean? Those are 3 that can go start on any team in the country.
Facts.
I left out Brew. I left out Tillman. I left
Who
out
hasn't
Fant.
been playing.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Who hasn't, like, Caleb, it's serious. It's serious. And I think, like I've been telling Babs on our show, and she said it last year, the defense got to get stops. The difference in this time, man, they working differently the same thing you can say for the defensive line as you can say for the offense.
Right.
Gardner got them guys rolling.
Yes.
And believing and thinking to go and do.
Go
You know
ball.
what I'm saying? Yes. That's
Thank
huge.
you, Babs.
That's huge. But
Thanks, Don.
You look at it and you're like, I've been telling her, your best defense sometimes is your offense.
Sure.
You know what I'm
The
saying?
way that offense operates.
Yeah, like you look at it last time, their defense was terrible, but they were scoring in 3 and 4 plays. Nothing's changed from that except added more weapons.
And better, like you said, on the front.
Yes, that's you can get to. Man, this man been sacked 20 times.
Yeah.
Will Levis has been sacked 20 times.
Yep.
They've only played 4 SEC games.
Can I say this
Yeah,
too?
that's a lot.
That's a lot.
The other issue too is we've seen teams come into Neyland as of late that have been bothered by the sound.
Hey,
Sure have.
As far as their offense.
Yep.
yeah, like that's what we wanted. We wanted excitement. We wanted people to go out and compete.
Yep.
We wanted to see the players having fun.
Growth.
And we wanted to see growth and development without question.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we wanted to see the mystique of Neyland come back.
Sure.
Yep.
Because I think
It's
a lot
down.
of people that are young, they don't even know what that
know.
is. And that includes players.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're factual
That
about
includes
You're
players.
absolutely right. Turner, you just gave me chills. I mean,
Sure
absolutely
did.
right. I'm telling you, like, I've seen it, dog. And this is what we kept on preaching. Like, you got to get back to this. If it gets back to this, then, dude, it's going to be a problem. It's back to that. And they walking back into Neyland. And now, instead of just walking in, going to the locker room, when you walk up on Neyland, now they doing this. They looking up like, oh man, look at all these lights. Man, look what they did. Look at the big screen. It's
looking right
different.
now.
You feel what I'm saying, Savage? It's different.
Well,
Will, put your little finger down.
my fingers are everywhere.
I saw you ask for the alley-oop, and then you said, well, like you finna get me out of here. I go
wasn't.
damn well as long as I want to because y'all gave me this segment.
I was going to talk about.
We did.
Yeah! Let's go, baby! You can't stop this train! Kentucky! We're looking for you!
Look at Will.
Let's go!
I'm logging off of my life right now.
That
was after West lost a
That's
bet.
how you do it. That's how you do it.
This
That's how you do
studio, for the first time since being in here, was bouncing.
it. You felt it, didn't you?
That's how
Jay?
Neyland
Yeah.
rocking
I mean,
right
I
there.
was-
Yep.
That's how Neyland
I was going to bring up the black jerseys Tennessee's, there's a rumor they're wearing, but now I guess I won't because you don't want me to put my finger up and input.
No, go ahead. I need to hear this.
When we come back, we will continue the conversation with Rod Slay of 3HL.
We're all black guys.
I have the floor and I'm going to take it while I have it.
Confirmation from nobody.
We're going to go to break and
I
come
talked
back
to the
in
mic,
a
just
couple
go
minutes,
on
I
and on.
think, on
I talked
104.5
over
The Zone.
Will. Has anybody talked over Will?
That was Coach Dave McGinnis last week saying that Ron Slay was the greatest hype man since Flavor Flav. It's Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors on 104.5 The Zone. Will Bowling, Ramon Foster. That guy.
Hey, man.
And Kayla Anderson.
And that was Kayla back there?
Yes. Confirming it.
Thank you.
That was on our
Kayla.
show last week. That's high praise being compared to Flavor Flav.
Man, hey, listen. When you walk in the room and you with a legend, you just accept it, man. Like, you know, you feel what I'm saying? Like, it's, you know, I mean, it's just, it is what it is.
So what's your accessory of choice?
So
Since he's got the clock.
Mine would be the headband, probably, Kayla.
Okay.
It probably would differ going into what I'm talking about, what I'm getting hype about. You know, if it's Titans, I got a Titan chain.
That's right.
So you got a prop box.
Yeah. You know, I kind of keep. You know what I mean? Like this week, I got something special. For the kitty cats. Yeah. I got some partners over
like
there.
Clinton
at the pet
Portis
store.
out here. You got some partners in the pet. You do have the fish. You got to go get the fish.
I don't know if you want to be
fish.
compared to Clinton Portis. That got kind of weird.
Other than the fact that he was waiting outside that dude's house.
Like, what up?
Where my money at?
Oh, boy.
Fair enough.
No, play with a man money.
Yeah.
So, Kentucky, sorry, I misspoke again.
Yeah,
obviously, it's
putting
Saturday.
for some reason.
Tennessee Gonzaga in basketball
Yeah.
on Friday.
Yep.
It's sneaking up on people, but like exhibition basketball is here. Tennessee played a closed door exhibition against Michigan State. Typically, it's always good when a season sneaks up on you because it means that you're good enough in the current season and not be looking ahead to whatever's next.
True.
And basketball is kind of here.
You going for the Friday game?
No, they have it in Frisco, and it's a pay-per-view. You know what I mean? So we
charity
like that.
charity pay-per-view game.
Pay-per-view, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, but it's here, man, and it's good. This team, we got to catch them when I went up probably about a month ago.
Yeah.
And then been getting periodic updates from some people, some sources. But hey, man, they got 4 seniors. And in this day and age, when you got guys that are veterans and leaders and really been through the system, it makes a difference. You know, especially a group with some young talent that is really, really good. Phillips is really good. He's one and probably out of here. Wow. You got the young fella Toby who just came in as a post guy playing the 5, probably about 6'7", 6'8".
Hearing good things about him.
Bruiser, rebounding, just attracts the ball. So you got guys like that wasn't really expected to step in, a young guy that's going to be able to do something. Then when you talk about the vets, Zakai, which is just a sophomore. But
just love him.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly.
That guy is going to be an extra strength migraine for everyone in college basketball for the next 4 years because he's going to stay all 4 years.
Yep, you got Santi, you got Josiah, Ben Euros, and then Olivier as the 4, solid guys, the group, the core. So Meshack should come back and have a good year.
Tyreek
Key is you got to keep your eye on him, man.
For real.
I know that first of all, I love college basketball for the most part. In the beginning, they do it right with some of these tournaments. And the teams, like Gonzaga always plays tough opponents in the beginning because of their conference schedule. I love seeing these types of powerhouses go up against each other because the storylines are so good. And it gets you excited about college basketball because it's a long season.
It is.
But Mark Few and Rick Barnes, a lot of respect for each other. Rick Barnes has talked a lot about Mark Few, who's been up at Gonzaga since he started as a head coach there.
Yeah.
So a lot of love between the two. I'm really excited to see that.
Yeah, it's going to be good. And you look at him and you look at Coach Barnes and you see how he's reinvented himself, and it's because of guys like Mark Few. You know what I'm saying? So you're never too old to learn. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I think he's taken from it, and being able to start a program in and get it back jumping, and it's here. So
I love it.
Yeah, I love it. I'm going to petition. I'm going to start petitioning our bosses, man. We got to get a 30-minute segment somewhere where we can talk basketball, but that's just me.
I'll talk ball with you.
Hey, come on, Kayla.
Let's go.
I'm with it.
You
Washington State loves their basketball.
See what
up
I'm
there.
saying? We can just cover all college. We can just keep it right there at college too, Kayla.
Bring back the Sonics.
Man,
they might.
They need them and deserve them.
They deserve
Heck
them?
yeah.
They deserve them. They deserve
You
them.
heard it from Ron Slay right there.
I'm telling you. Like, I know people that have played for Seattle, the Storm.
Seattle Storm.
And the support that they get it's second to none.
It's a huge basketball state, you guys.
And then
I
it's a
grew
state
up
period.
with basketball. I mean, that was the sport.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then the family that they have, like when guys coming up, like they do a great job of reaching back. Guys like Jamal Crawford, Nate Brown, all these guys, man, Tremendous job.
Okay.
Tremendous job of reaching back and laying a foundation for these younger guys coming up. So they deserve it. I'm going to be honest.
As a quick couple segments there, Slay.
Let's go.
You're going to give me the finger now to wrap it up.
He's giving you the wrap.
I want the line.
I'd rather you give me that finger than a different finger. So I will accept your idea to end the show. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us today on the Tuesday edition of the show. We are back at it at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. Appreciate Ron Slay stopping by, Adam Sparks, all of you on the phone lines as well. But before we say goodbye and hand it off to the Buck Rising Show, because Buck is here on time today, he's early. Ramon Foster has a word of wisdom for the people of both Middle Tennessee, but also the millions watching worldwide on 104.5 The Zone TV.
Remember, your Twitter fingers and your mic is always hot.